Alrighty. Let me see if I can figure this out. Loading here. Let's see. Okay, so it's loading there. Let me figure out what's going over here, everybody. Unlock, lock, refresh, cache. I bet that'll do it. Hey, John.
How you doing? Oh, you see those?
Those are good. So, I think somebody's already asked about them.
I don't doubt.
New York Groove. Back in the New York Groove. I'm back in the New York Groove. Okay, sorry, the cache. Yeah, I had to clear the cache. Not the kind of cache I usually like. All right, Otis, time for your good petting. Let's rub your belly. Let's rub your belly. Let's rub the back of that neck. Let's rub underneath that chin. Big old fluffy teddy bear is what you are. Just a big fluffy. He has the hair and the texture of literally a teddy bear. Uh-oh, Hatchet Ed's got a note in his hand. And he's got a hatchet in the other hand. Okay. Hey, don't eat that chip. He's eating a crab chip off the floor. Nope. Otis, stop. Hey, Tanner, get on you. He'll get all over you. No crab chips. Sorry, I should be more cautious of where I drop food on the ground. This dog likes this store because there's food dropped all over the ground, mostly by me. So he's a big fan. Okay, Ed, any new vinyl? Holy moly, is this all new vinyl? Is it priced? Okay, holy moly. A lot of new vinyl again. ZZ Top. John, thank you as always. I'll see you tomorrow. Okay. Yeah, it's dark outside. It's weird. It was rainy. So Mondays I always stay up probably the latest than any other day ever. So I was like, I better say 6 o'clock because by the time I sleep and get enough sleep where I don't feel sick or terrible, it's probably going to be time to wake up and it's going to be dark. Chad's going to be all groggy. We don't want that. Yep, it's all rainy and cold here in Lebanon. Karen lives here. She knows. I mean, I could easily just lay my head down and just... But we can't do that, folks. We have a mission, and that mission is simple. Sell records. And as y'all know, I had people saying, Chad, we want Rocktober stuff on Mondays. We want it as soon as we can get it. So I sent out some emails. And I said, can we get Rocktober stuff on Mondays? Guess what's back here behind me? Rocktober stuff, and it's Monday. So it is Rocktober on Monday night. All the new stuff is in, which is great. That way we can go ahead and start selling it, taking pre-orders, and waiting list. Let me empty my pockets. I've got keys and wallet and everything. I got to get in selling mode. Selling mode consists of Chad emptying his pockets. There we go. Because I'm back in the New York groove. So we got some cool CDs. We got a Japanese CD collection. We're going to try some of these tonight. We got some really sweet, all these are Japanese CDs. So we're going to try some of those tonight. We got, of course, Kiss auctions. I still have the comics over here we hadn't tried, which I don't think some of my Star Trek buyers were on the other night, so I kind of stopped showing them. And then, of course, it looks like we got 9 crates of Rocktober stuff. 9 crates of Rocktober stuff, Tanner. 9 crates. Tanner comes back with boards and bags. I might try to sell some autographs tonight. I was going to at least try to run the Ace Frehley stuff because it's Kiss night. And let me find my phone. Let's start sharing and carrying. Make sure if you're on Facebook, you've hit the share button. And let's do this. Let's hit the like button. All right, let's hit share in the group. There and here. And then we're going to go copy link. Let me close out all my apps. And here. Let's see. Let's go here. All right, I'm back. Okay, big Monday night ahead. Facebook Live. My mail app has updated. I don't know if I like that or not. So Sunday we had JSA authenticate, which is always fun. For me, it's like Christmas morning. It's kind of like when I get back stuff from my framer, when I go pick up from my frame shop. Same thing when you're having autographs authenticated, because we got all this cool stuff, and for the first time we're able to sell it. And we get answers on if stuff's real or not, et cetera, et cetera. And we virtually had no surprises. Of course, there was some stuff that was bad, but everything was great. And we are ready for to start selling some of it. And y'all only seen, I think there was 56 photos in that gallery. I could make 10 more posts with that many pictures, especially stuff that y'all haven't seen before that was authenticated before today. So it was like Christmas morning having all that done. And I was here basically all day Sunday doing that. And that's always a fantastic day. Ed is done sending invoices. Of course, today's a new week, a new invoice week. And I have officially got done sharing links. Click, 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 and we're ready to start selling. So, of course, on Monday mornings, we have a flip video up front. Let me see how many claims was out of that. And we'll go ahead and start putting up some $15 start Kiss stuff and other stuff. And let me find these videos. And let me click this. And I think tonight we'll probably run a few of those Kiss ones we have. But the rest of them I really don't have ready yet. New vinyl for Monday. Here it is. And we had claims for Stanley Turrentine, Love Cry, Kicks, Three Doors Down, George Strait, Robert Plant, 007, Eagles, Offspring, and LA Guns. And that's how we'll start the show. All right, let me turn on this other light, and we're ready. Some of the big metal autographs, of course, will be Thursday night. We might slip in some before then because there's so many, and we usually already have so much stuff on Thursday night metal night anyways. Let me grab our first empty crate. So as usual, we'll get started with auctions. We'll get started with this morning's video, and then right into all of our newest stuff. John's Price 4 crates. Our buying crew is out on the road again. They're in Memphis right now. I think they're in Memphis and then Western Kentucky. So when I was here this morning, they got here at 6:30 a.m. and they loaded up the trailer full of empty crates and empty tubs. And I think they should be in Memphis or close to Memphis, and or already out in Western Kentucky buying collections again. And somewhere up here, Tanner, is this morning's videos. Somewhere up here is this morning's videos. I think right here. Yeah. Right here is what I'm looking for, Tanner. Uh-oh, something fell there. That's not good. Oh my gosh. Okay. All right. Let me grab this short but sweet crate. Short but sweet crate. Wow, there's not many albums back here. Something I don't say every day. Well, I honestly don't know in Western Kentucky. Sorry, I just got back here again for the chat. I walked up front to grab this. So sometimes I don't know where they take off to, but they're close. They're up there pretty close to you buying a collection, if that's where you're at. All right, let's go ahead and get the show started. We have everybody hitting the like button, right? Let's get started with Kiss, and we'll start with Peter Criss and Paul Stanley. We'll start with two solo members' solo albums. We have Peter Criss, Out of Control. It's a 1980 US Hot Hog OG. It does have a pressing defect on tracks 4, 2, and 3. It's definitely pops, but it did not skip when Laura play tested it. It looks like something was pressed down in the wax. Y'all see that? So there's something pressed down in the wax of this Peter Criss. Probably when they pressed it, a flake of paper got pressed down in the grooves. It does not skip when we play tested it. $5 start on that. And then we got Paul Stanley, his 2001 album, Soul Station. That's a $15 start. So Peter Criss, Paul Stanley. And then this video was posted at 6 a.m. this morning in Whole Lotta Records. And that's one of the first videos we're going to do right here. We're going to pull stuff from this morning's video. And actually, this first thing sold, which was this amazing Eagles box set. And this is Eagles to the Limit, the Essential Collection. And that is sold to Tim Holloway. It's $159.99. It's 6 LPs, pretty much the best of the Eagles, and album deep cuts, and live tracks. So that's $149.99. That's sold to Tim Holloway right off the bat. And if anybody else wants me to order one for you this week, let me know. We had Down NOLA. That is Down, the supergroup, their 1995 album. That's a double LP, $44.99 on that. And then I have the Charlie Brown Christmas Zoetrope picture disc. And Charlie Brown is $38.99. I still got 2 of those, and I think I've got 2 more in about every other crate too. The Richard Pryor box set, I Hope I'm Funny. It's 6 Richard Pryor albums over 7 LPs. That is available new through Rhino, $139.99. Peter Criss is a $5 start, no bid yet. Paul Stanley's a $5 start, no bid yet. Just letting y'all know. First couple auctions up. Paul Stanley's solo album, Soul Station, and Peter Criss, Out of Control. Now, Peter Criss has a pressing defect. It looks like a piece of paper was pressed down into the vinyl, so that could cause some pops. On our setup, though, it did not skip. Over here, we have LA Guns, and this is Man in the Moon. And we did sell one of these to Paul Conway. Thank you, Paul Conway. That was so to you, LA Guns. And we have 21 Pilots, Breach. That is their newest album, $33.99. 21 Pilots, Breach. Still got one of those laying around. Black Label Society, 1919 Eternal. Black Label Society is $34.99. And Rob Zombie, Hellbilly Deluxe. Rob Zombie is $33.99. That's actually on a Record Store Day Essential glow-in-the-dark vinyl. Dragula's on that one. Robert Plant's newest album, Saving Grace. That's on colored vinyl, $33.99 for Robert Plant. And this did sell, actually, to Michelle Clements. Thank you, Michelle Clements. That was sold to you. We have The Descendants, Milo Goes to College. The Descendants is on gray matter colored vinyl, $31.99. And we have Morphine. That's actually one of the new Rocktobers. Morphine Good is on green vinyl. That is $29.99. Kicks Cool Kids, that is officially sold to Rick Hall. And I think I can get more of those if anybody else decides you want one. And then The Offspring Americana is sold to Carla Brecky. Now, some of these you see flying out of here before you even have a chance to think about it. Those are pre-sold this morning in the group. You're welcome to watch those videos. If you have a Facebook account, it's free to join our private group. It's just a Facebook group you can join. And you can check out those videos. Mike Massey just shared the link a moment ago, so thank you, Mike, for doing that. And nobody bid on Paul Stanley, so I'm going to make that a quick $15 buy now on that solo album of his from 2001, and it's sealed, Paul Stanley. And then Peter Criss, Out of Control. Gerald Whitworth has that for $7. Gerald Whitworth has that for $7. And Ralph Venturino, You're Out, and Chris Martin, You're Out. That's the one that has the pressing defect in it, just FYI. Let's go ahead and put up our next auction, which is Kiss World, The Best of Kiss. This is a 2019 U.S. reissue, which is a 2 LP compilation. It does have a seam crackle at the top, and that's a $15 start, okay? So that's Kiss World. It comes as a gatefold jacket. It's The Best of Kiss, and it's a $15 start. That is now up for bid. Peter Criss is at $10. Paul Stanley's available for a $15 buy now. Left in here is Morphine, The Descendants, Rob Zombie, Black Label Society, 21 Pilots, LA Guns, Richard Pryor, Charlie Brown, and Down. And I'm about to go grab that other crate right quick, so let me go do that. And thanks everybody for tuning in early tonight on this wonderful Monday night. But here in Lebanon, it's a little rainy. It's getting a little cold. Winter's on the way. It's getting to turn into that nasty weather. It's that nasty weather here in Tennessee, as they say. That nasty weather. Tanner is departing, or he's already departed. I can't wait to show you all the other stuff we had authenticated that requires letters, which we won't have available till the spring. So those items are authenticated, but we got to wait for them to process letters. And heck, we don't even have letters back from the last time they processed letters. So we're still waiting for we're still waiting for stuff the last time JSC was here for letters to come back. But that should be here in 2 to 3 weeks, and then we'll have even more stuff freed up that's amazing. So Peter Criss, the last bid was $10 with Ralph Venturino. We're about to sell it. And nobody's bid on Kiss World, The Best of Kiss. We're about to sell that. We have Drake, Take Care. That's a double LP. Drake is $38.99. Drake, and we have 50 Cent, Get Rich or Die Trying. That's a double LP, 50 Cent, $44.99. And then Jay-Z, In My Lifetime, Volume 1. Jay-Z is $39.99. And then Drake, Views, $44.99 for Drake. That's also a double LP. So 2 different Drake albums in there. Views, Take Care, 50 Cent, and Jay-Z. And then into some jazz, we have Stanley Turrentine, Mr. Natural. This one is sold to Blaine Zapnick. It's a Blue Note tone poet. It is a cut from the original Master Tapes by Kevin Gray and pressed at RTI. Paul, Condition, and Price. How about sealed $15? I was waiting for like 5 people to grab it for the buy now price. Sealed $15. This album's still in print, new, and I think it's about MSRP $39.99, and it's $15 right now. Just FYI. And then over here, Peter Criss is officially sold, and that's sold to Ralph Venturino for $10. And then if anybody wants The Best of Kiss, Kiss World, it's a no bid. It's a $15 buy now, which is a 2 LP compilation. So we got another $15 buy now on The Best of Kiss, Paul Stanley. Peter Criss is sold. I'm going to see what's over here in this little stack of 45s that John sold me. And then Kiss World is sold to Jerry Torres. JSA, come in. No, that one is the one I still don't have in. No. So the last batch of letters still hadn't come in, which was from almost 4 months ago. Those have not come in from what, 4 months ago. They're due in, he's told me, in about 2 weeks. And then if I got a letter done for somebody yesterday, it's going to be like spring, early summer before those are in. It's going to be a long time. So we have Kiss Revenge is a 2014. This is the 2014 remaster, and this is going to go up for a $15 start. Gerald Whitworth, you were second on Kiss World, but I do have Fred Carnell down on Paul Stanley for $15. Brad Waits, the Richard Pryor box set is 7 LPs. It's 6 albums, 7 LPs. One's a double album, $139.99. $139.99. There's that. And Kiss is $15 start, and that's the 2014 remaster. This is Chet Baker, Art Paper Phil Urso, Pictures of Heath. That is a Blue Note Tone Poet, another RTI, $34.99 on that. And then we have Curtain Call, Hank Mobley, and this one's also available. It is $34.99. Another Blue Note Tone Poet, $34.99. Here's some cool Kiss singles. How about I Love It Loud and Danger from Creatures of the Night? That's one I don't see as often. I Love It Loud. Kiss is a $10 start. It's a Casablanca single. How about on this, you put 45 instead of putting Kiss? So don't put Kiss, put 45, and that way I know you're bidding on that, because Kiss Revenge already has a bid with Chris Martin for $15. We have the Rolling Stones Voodoo Lounge. That is $38.99, a half-speed master, $38.99 for that. And then Cannonball Adderley is still available. That's Cannonball Adderley Quintet in Chicago. Presta QRP Tip-On Jacket Acoustic Sound Series, $34.99 for that. This is really cool. We end up selling one to Tim Holloway. Thank you, Tim Holloway. This is the best of James Bond. I have one left after that one sold, $54.99. It's 26 songs on 3 LPs and a trifold jacket. And that is basically every James Bond theme. Dr. No didn't really have a James Bond theme, but after looking through here, I think that's just about all of them. 26 theme songs on 3 LPs, $54.99, and that's the original recording. So that will be Paul McCartney and Wings. That will be Duran Duran. That will be A-ha. That will be Chris Cornell. That will be Sheryl Crow. That will be Garbage, and that will be Carly Simon and Shirley Bassey. It's the original recordings as they appeared on the film. So $54.99. We did sell one to Tim Holloway, and there's one left. And then we have more jazz, Mingus, Mingus, Mingus by Charles Mingus, pressed at QRP. That's $34.99. This last copy of George Strait sold to Michelle Clements, but I think there's more in today, or they'll be here tomorrow. That's George Strait Pure Country 30th anniversary red vinyl. That is sold to Michelle Clements. Fred Carnell wants the Cannonball Adderley Quintet. Revenge. So we got 2 auctions: Revenge for the LP, and then 45 to bid on the 45. The 45 is at 15, and Revenge is at 18. And then we have the Rob Zombie picture disc. That's a double LP, new, $38.99 for live Rob Zombie. It's called Spook Show International Live. Love Cry, Albert Ayler, we actually sold one of these, and that's sold to Blaine Zapnick. Thank you, Blaine Zapnick. That's sold to you. Fred Carnell wants that last Bond, James Bond, that last 007. So thank you on that. And if anybody wants on a waiting list, let me know. Bond, James Bond is officially gone. There's an Albert Ayler for $29. And then the Louis Armstrong Christmas album, that's on red vinyl, $34.99 for Louis Armstrong. Wishes you a cool Yule. And then 3 Doors Down, we sold one to Michelle Clements, and we have one left. That has their big song on it, Kryptonite, $29.99. Is Hatchet Ed about to head out? Hatchet Ed's heading out. Thank you. Can I go back there and play with your Halloween toys? Okay, good. Ed brought in some very cool retro vintage Halloween toys today. Extreme Tour Pornography. Yeah, we should definitely have those from last week. Revenge is at 22. I Love It Loud's at 16. And let me find a third auction to get rolling. So I have a ton of bonus and supplemental stuff this week. And I got some cool Japanese CDs. And let me figure out where I've laid those. Got some cool Japanese CDs over here. We're going to try and see how they do. So let's go ahead and try a CD. Let's go 3 wide with Kiss stuff. It's not going to be like that all night, I promise. It never is. But right now we're putting out a lot of Kiss stuff at once. We got an album. We have a 45, and how about a CD? This is really cool. This is an Japanese CD, an SMH CD. It's a 2001-11 sealed Japanese CD with Obi. It's never been opened, and that's a $25 star. So if you want to bid on the album, put Revenge. If you want to bid on the 45, put 45, and then the CD is sealed, $25 start on that, okay? Anybody else on anything in here? First thing we have is Drake, Take Care, $38.99, double LP. 50 Cent was $44. Jay-Z was $39. Drake Views was $44. Then we have a pocket of jazz here. Chet Baker, $34. Hank Mobley, $34. Rolling Stones, I don't think most people would consider that jazz, $38.99. How about some good old rock and roll? Cannonball Adderley, $34. Mingus, $34. And then Rob Zombie, $38. We have Albert Ayler, Love Cry, $29. Louis Armstrong, Red Vinyl, $34. And then that last three dog down. How about Three Doors Down's Greatest Hits? $29.99. Brad Waits is passing on Pryor. Okay. Sad, but Brad, if you change your mind, let me know. You made me sad. You had me excited, but that's okay. I understand. It looks like we're out on Revenge. Ryan Eaton has that for $24. And then the single was I Love It Loud and Danger from Creatures of the Night. Fred Carnell has that at $16. And then the sealed Japanese Dynasty CD from 2011 with Obi, if I can get it propped up there nicely, is a $25 start. So 3 Kiss items. And what we're going to do is bring over new stuff. So I have tonight 4 crates of new stuff from John. I have 4 crates from John. I have 9 crates over here of new vinyl, probably mostly Rocktober stuff. Most of it's going to be pre-sold, and there will be extras, and we're going to get that knocked out right now. Caden is about to leave. He's got 30 more minutes left, he said. He's counting down the seconds. And Laura's going to be marking some crates too. So we got a lot to do. We got a lot to do. The 45 has a new bid. The CD has a new bid. And Caden, do you have anything to say? He said he'll be right back. Okay. I'm about to go up front and get some cookies and another Monster. I got to get fired up for this sale. I got to get some cookies. We also, big day yesterday, JSA authenticating hundreds of autographs for us. Like I said, Christmas morning for me, because some of it was stuff for my collection. And it's always good for 2 things. One, knowing that it's real and it's a relief after acquiring something maybe without COA. And number 2, I have a lot of really cool stuff to sell this week. And it's a lot of motivation. I'm going to try to bring back a few things tonight because I got signed Kiss albums, and I'm going to try to slip in that. But most of that stuff will start being put up tomorrow. Okay, so the 45 got a new bid. Fred Carnell, you're out. This is now at $17 with Ralph Venturino. $17. Fred, you got bumped on that, and then we'll go ahead and sell Revenge. And Revenge is sold to Ryan Eaton for $24, okay? That is done. Let's get started with one of our first, looks like, biggest pre-orders of the week. And here's how the pre-orders always work. Very simply. I'm going to start reading out everybody that got one. If you know for sure you are not on a pre-order and you want one, I would comment right now, because as soon as these are done, whatever's left will go to whoever claimed one. So the first big pre-order tonight is the Ramones Pet Sematary. The Ramones Halloween favorite, reissued as a 12-inch single for the first time since it originally came out. It's on blood red vinyl. It's Pet Sematary, and Sheena is a punk rocker, and life goes on. 3 tracks, red vinyl. That is $19.99. Also, Clay Moore bid $25 on the sealed Kiss Dynasty Japanese CD. He's about to get that for $25. I got a cool collection of Japanese CDs, okay? Is Tennessee going to fire their head coach too? Boy, I hope not. No, Heupel's doing a pretty good job until he learns how to win some of those big games. Okay, here we go. So we got Autumn Betts. First on the pre-order from 8 weeks ago. So thank you, Autumn Betts. Let's start knocking these out. I'll go ahead and put up some other auctions. Fred's out. Fred's in. Ralph's out. Let's sell this to Fred Carnell. I Love It Loud for $20. And we've had some people request New York Groove. Let's do it. This is New York Groove on blue vinyl. And it's a UK edition that comes with an Ace Frehley mask. How cool is this? So it does have the mask. It comes with the Ace Frehley mask, perfect for Halloween time. Let me show you what that looks like. It's not in too bad a shape. I've had these before pretty tattered. Now, I don't know if it's supposed to have a string. If it is, the string is missing. But there's the Ace Frehley mask. The sleeve is a little tattered at the top. We'd probably have to grade the sleeve VG. I would grade the mask VG+. I don't grade many masks every night. And the vinyl's probably VG. I see a pretty nasty scuff right there. Other than that, everything looks okay. Ace Frehley, $10 start. Clay Moore, I'm going to sell you this CD for $25. Thank you on the Dynasty CD, $25. All right, Pet Cemetery. Actually, let me put one more auction up, Crazy Nights. So there's Ace, $10 start. And then here's this. If you want to bid on Crazy Nights, put Crazy Nights for a $15 start, okay? Now, let's knock out this pre-order. So Jen Cast and Scott Dwallow. We already did Autumn Bets. Jen Cast, Scott Dwallow. George Jones and Danny Thomason. Philip Holt and Cynthia Herdren. Philip Holt and Cynthia Herdren. Phil Freeman and Brandon Lack. Phil Freeman and Brandon Lack. Michael Snared and Mike Massey. Michael Snared and Mike Massey. Gerald Whitworth and Jimmy Clark. Gerald Whitworth and Jimmy Clark. Caesar Thomas and Joe Valente. C-Note and Joe Valente. Tony Riddle and Levi Hilton. We got Jerry Stone and Hendry Smink. Jerry Stone and Hendry Smink. Paul Brothers and Josh Tanner. Paul Brothers and Josh Tanner. Kelly Vlodarchek and David Pokey. Kelly Vlodarchek, David Pokey. Matt Shiker and Terry Lee Watts. Matt Shiker and Terry Lee Watts. We got Dan Davis and Fred Cardinale. Dan Davis and Fred Cardinale. Paul Conway and Kenneth Russell. And that's how many extra Pet Cemeteries I have. I have this many Pet Cemeteries left. They're new. It comes out when? This Friday for Rocktober. It's on red vinyl. That has not been out since it originally, that has not been pressed since it originally came out. Next thing over here is Ace Frehley got a bid for 15, then 20, then 21. The scuff is not a feeler, no. I think he'll play through. The scuff is a non-fillable mark. That's why I said VG. That's really the only nasty mark on it. No fillable marks, but it is there. Ace has a new bid for 25, and now Ace has a bid of 40. And Gerald Whitworth commented live, but he was already on the pre-order, so he said he does not need one. That's fine with me. You've already bought one, but I'd love for you to buy 3 of them if you change your mind. Next is Faces, Early Steps. This is also new for Rocktober. Track listing on Pet Cemetery. Pet Cemetery, Sheena's a Punk Rocker, and Life Goes On. It's a 12-inch single reissue. First time it's ever been reissued. It's 3 tracks. 12-inch on red vinyl, $19.99. Faces is our next one. This is called Early Steps. This is really cool. There's a younger Rod Stewart there. Faces looks like it has 8 pre-orders. This is a Rocktober. It says Original Faces, their first recordings, made in London in 1969, previously unreleased from Olympic Studios, rare live rehearsals, restored and remastered for vinyl, never released. $29.99. Faces with Rod Stewart. And the most recent bid for this, and the most recent claims, was Blaine Zapnick and Clifford Umstead. These are $29.99. These are Rocktober exclusives. Jerry Stone and George Ellis. Jerry Stone and George Ellis. Scott Beebe and Todd Coe. Scott Beebe and Todd Coe. Scott Dwallow and Chris Maggie. Scott Dwallow and Chris Maggie. And I have this many extras left. 2, 4, 6. I have not sold a live Pet Cemetery yet. No one has claimed one. And then there's Faces. Ace Frehley's at $50, now $55 with Scott Wynn. And then over here, Crazy Nights. This is a 2014 remaster, just a standard remaster. It does not have a bid. If you want to bid, put CN for Crazy Nights, and it's a $15 start. Stan McNessie wants a Faces. Thank you, Stan McNessie. And we have another pre-order, and this is the Stooges Funhouse, alternate versions. You know, one of these new things they're doing is they're taking demos of songs from these big albums like Fleetwood Mac, and I've seen them do it now for 2 different Stooges albums. And it's basically alternate versions, and it makes it sound like a different take on the album. So this is the Stooges Funhouse. It's an alternate version of the 1970 Proto-Punk classic on black and white marble vinyl. This is actually on colored vinyl. That's what it's going to look like. And there was only a few pre-orders for this, and I only ordered a few extras. So 3 Stooges are sold. The 3 Stooges, Thomas Reed, Scott Smith, and Jeremy Bryant. And I have 2 extras. I have 2 extras of that new Stooges Rocktober black and white marble vinyl. Okay, so Ace Frehley right now is at $65. Crazy Nights is at $15 with Chris Martin, and let's go ahead and add a third auction. And you may ask yourself, Chad, what possibly could that third auction be? And I'm like, hey, you just never know. I don't know. I'm trying to find what's in here right quick. Let's see what's up with this. I don't know. I got so much stuff packed into these crates. Let's see here. Let me leave that for right now. Let me jump over here. Oh, I had the other Japanese CDs. Let me get these closer to me. So same thing. If you want to bid on CD, make sure you put CD, okay? I got one here, which is, some of these I've got tagged for buy it now. Let's try this one at auction, okay? And this is Gene Simmons, a $30 start. That is his solo album as a 2016 sealed Japanese CD. If you want to bet on that, put CD, and that will be $30, okay? 3-0 to get that one started. Ace is still getting bids. And over here, we sold One Faces. Eric Van Leuven wants a Stooges. There's one Stooges left. And Crazy Nights is now at 15. So Ace is at 80, Crazy Nights is at 20, and the Gene Simmons CD sealed is at $30 start. That's our first crate of Rocktobers. What's left? Pet Cemetery on red vinyl, $19.99 for the Ramones. Also Faces Early Steps, remastered, restored, $29.99. And the Stooges Funhouse alternate version, black and white marble vinyl, the Stooges, $29.99. These will be available all night and all week until we sell out. If we sell out, we'll start a waiting list. And they got this stuff earlier to me. If y'all missed what I said earlier, I said, hey, can we get these Rocktobers on Monday? They kind of just sit in my cart all week. We don't put them out before street date. I mean, that's the big thing. Sometimes they hold stuff because they don't want you putting it out before street date. But none of this stuff gets in customers' hands until literally the earliest would be Wednesday. So we can get this stuff in early, and we're still basically pre-selling it. No one's getting it early. So it's a pretty good thing we got going on here. We're essentially pre-selling stuff live because no one picks up in the store until the next Wednesday. Even if you're local and you're buying one of these right now, you can't get it until next Wednesday. And then if you're, of course, having it shipped somewhere in the United States, at the earliest, it's going to ship next Tuesday, at the earliest. Maybe Wednesday, and then it's going to have to get to you. So pretty cool that we can get this stuff this early and start selling it. More Rocktobers coming. We'll try to keep it a little bit more balanced, but there is a ton over here. There's 9 crates full. But don't forget, John marked stuff, and we got 4 crates of vintage, and Laura's marking stuff too. Yeah, all this stuff right here, the Pet Cemetery, the Faces, and the Stooges, none of that comes out till October 31st. That's all brand new stuff. Yeah, all that comes out this Friday. All that comes out this Friday. Everything you just seen there, that is absolutely correct. Let me start stacking this stuff in here. We have got our first full crate. That's already amazing. We're going to sell a lot tonight because 9 crates, and most of this is already pre-sold, and we hadn't even got into vintage, discount, or Christmas records. And same thing with this ZZ Top I'm about to show. This ZZ Top doesn't come out until Friday for retail. So, oh yeah, you cannot break street dates. No, you can't, especially on new stuff. You cannot break street dates. No, not at all. All right, so let me pull this up, and before I start reading them off, let's update these auctions because we got a lot of KISS stuff to sell tonight. First thing we're going to do is this. Let's update New York Groove, okay? New York Groove is at $90 with Ralph Venturino. $90. This is the UK single on blue vinyl. Very cool. New York Groove, the UK single on blue vinyl. It comes with the mask. I graded the sleeve kind of VG because of some tattering. I graded the mask VG Plus. I'm not for sure if it comes with a string, but if it does, it's missing. And the vinyl was VG because of a big scuff. So overall, a VG copy. The last bid was $90. The last bid that came in on Crazy Nights was $25 of Chris Martin. Brian Stern, you were outbid. Let me know if you want back in Brian Stern, okay? That's a 2014. Ace is OG, and I'm going to go ahead and make the Gene Simmons CD. It's Japanese. It's sealed from 2016. $30 buy it now. $30 buy it now on the Gene Simmons CD, okay? And I actually have 3 of those, okay? No, those never came with a string. Okay, no string on the Kiss mask. That's good to know. Weasel wants a Pet Cemetery, and John Oliver, they're $19.99 if you want one. They come out Friday. $19.99 John Oliver if you want one. And let's give one to Curtis Marachi, a.k.a. Weasel. All right, any other box sets up tonight? I have you down for Motley Crue Solarplex. There is a new box set in tonight. What is this one over here? The box set that has come in for tonight is for Rush. The Rush box sets are in. Those will be shown here pretty soon. We'll go ahead and knock those out because they take up almost 2 crates. Chad Anderson wants a Gene Simmons CD. I have 2 more just like this, new and sealed, 2016. If anybody wants Japanese Vovobi, very cool. I've got 2 more. Sell one to Chad Anderson. There's 2 more, okay? Now, our next October for Friday, this comes out Friday. It is the continuation of the rest of those ZZ Tops. So if you don't have these, if you don't have the rest of these, here's your chance. Cut from the original analog master tape by Kevin Gray. Cut from the original analog master tape by Kevin Gray. This is $39.99. Todd Coe was first on the pre-order. Let's go ahead and knock out the rest. As you see, I got a bunch of them. These are super popular. John Durden gets one. And then we got one for Joseph Ellis, and we got one for Mike Moore. Joseph Ellis and Mike Moore. We got one for Brandon Jones and Scott Markheim. Thank you, Brandon Jones. Thank you, Scott Markheim. One for Darren Wallace and one for Michael Nath. One for Darren Wallace, one for Michael Nath. One for Mark Overton, one for Stephen A. Young. One for Jerry Stone, one for Stan McNessie. Thank you, Jerry Stone. Thank you, Stan McNessie. One for Clifford Umstead, one for Bill Sammis. One for Clifford Umstead, one for Bill Sammis. One for Matt Lawson, one for Stan McNessie. I've already said his name, though. Don't give Stan another. Give one to Matt Nichols, okay? These are not numbered. No, the number ones are only sold through Rhino unless they don't sell all of them. If they don't sell out, then eventually we get numbered ones. We do have a couple numbered, like we can get numbered Alice Cooper. We can get numbered, I think, Stevie Nicks, but these are just limited edition. $39.99 for ZZ Top DeGuelo, $39.99. I've got 2, 4, 6, 8 extras. 8 extras, okay? Now, every time I look up, every time I take a pause to update the auctions, 2 or 3 more people say, "What the heck, Chad, is the Ace Frehley?" Because it was not advertised and everybody wants to bid on it. But right now, let's go ahead and sell Crazy Nights. And Crazy Nights is sold to Chris Martin for $25. Jamie McCord on a ZZ Top. And then what is the Motley Crue? I'll have it up for pre-order tomorrow, Brandon Jones. So there's already a pre-order up for a Motley Crue colored vinyl Theater of Pain. Well, they're doing a release as a huge box set. And I got to get that one up and posted. Solarplex for sure wants one, and anybody else, they'll be up tomorrow. Ace Frehley, blue vinyl, UK with mask, overall VG sleeve and VG vinyl. Ralph Venturino has it for $100. New York Groove, $100 on that. Okay? And don't forget, I got 2 more Japanese Gene Simmons CDs, $29.99. I'm going to go ahead and lay those back there. And let's also go ahead and put up another Kiss auction. So if you want to bid on Ace, put Ace. It's up to one person right now, Scott Wynn, if he wants to bid again. And Crazy Nights was a reissue. And don't worry, I can probably get you about 4 more other copies tonight. It was a 2014 reissue. We're also going to put up Dress to Kill, which is a 2014 reissue. This is also sealed, $15 start. $15 start, Kiss Dress to Kill. There's nothing special about ZZ Top other than it's the best version ever manufactured. There is probably, arguably, no other better sounding version than this. It's just an original analog cut from Rhino Hi-Fi series, $39.99. Jamie McCord already got one. Tim Grindstaff wants one of the new Faces. That was out of the first crate of Rocktober stuff. Faces sold to Tim Grindstaff. Kiss Lights are possibly doing this week. It's up to one person on Ace, but I've got to sell it. Also, make sure if you've been bidding on Dress to Kill, DTK, if you want to bid on Dress to Kill, DTK, you put dress to kill, so I know exactly what you're bidding on, okay? That way we know exactly what you're bidding on there. All righty. And of course, Kiss stuff all night. I probably have enough crates over here full of Kiss auctions. I feel like I have about every variant of any kind of album you probably should want to bid on tonight if you're looking for Kiss studio stuff for sure. Okay. Next thing is ZZ Top. That's what's left. $39.99, a Rhino Hi-Fi series, 180 gram, cut from the original analog tape by Kevin Gray. That's how many extras I have in stock. Okay? That's how many extras I have in stock. I encourage everybody to be in our private group, Whole Lot of Records. Every once in a while, maybe click on my name in the group. You can scroll through there and see pre-orders. A lot of people kind of know the last one I post and they go check. About once every week, there's a few people. They'll come in and I'll have a notification on Facebook that so-and-so commented on your post like 9 times. Of course, we have a couple people who pre-order everything. They pretty much want every new release coming out that is worthy of me posting a pre-order. And that's what they do. They get on there and check it about once a week, and they pre-order pretty much about everything. And you can do the same thing. Next, Rush, $149.99. The albums, 2002 to 2012. Folks, we're talking about Vapor Trails, Feedback, Snakes and Arrows, Clockwork Angels. These have been out of print for quite some time. Feedback and Snakes and Arrows. So those have been tough to get. This is $159.99. $159.99. Let me jump over here and pull up the pre-order for Rush. Okay? And then this is RUSH. Ralph Venturino says, please, for the love of God, sell Ace. Well, I lost somebody. I never did hear back from Scott Wynn. He never did say out. He never did bid again. So here's what I'm going to do. 2 other people have asked about this, Ralph, and I'm not surprised whatsoever. Same things happen. In between bids, 2 other people have said, what is Ace Frehley, and details on Ace. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do this as a soft called sold to you, pending to Ralph Venturino for $100. I'm going to make sure 2 people don't want to bid. It's at $100. It's the first auction of the night almost. And of course, lots of questions. Ace Frehley, New York Groove, is on blue vinyl, a UK pressing, with mask, VG vinyl, VG sleeve. We got to give it a 60-second timer for Ralph Venturino. Okay? Literally, a 60-second timer. It's at $100. That'll give everybody's lag and time to come in. There was 2 people actively bidding that never did say out, and now they're still bidding at $105. The timer's up. Ace is still getting bids. Dress to Kill has 1 bid, and now 2 bids. Jeremy Rourke has it for $20. The record guy, you've been outbid. Ace Frehley is still getting bids. It's at $105 with Scott Wynn. Let's tag these Rush box sets. Manny or anybody else, the window of opportunity is open. I just ask one thing. The bids are going to have to come in exponentially faster. Okay? So Scott Wynn has it for $105. If you don't say out for a while and I lose you, I can't give you too many more chances. We have to just go ahead and sell it. I do that all the time. And then I do have some people say, well, Chad, I wasn't out. I was like, well, you have to 100% make sure you're actively bidding quickly, fast, okay? This is at $105 with Scott Wynn. It was still up for auction. It had not closed. He can still bid if he wants to. So it's still open. The Rush box set. So this was Feedback, Vapor Trails, Clockwork Angels, and Snakes and Arrows, okay? $159.99. The first person who pre-ordered this 8 weeks ago was Aaron Jolly. So what I'm going to go ahead and do, most of these are still in the shipping boxes over here. Most of these are still in the shipping boxes, like this. This one's open so I can show you what it looks like. I'm going to start reading everybody off that got one, okay? Ace Frehley's at $105 with Scott Wynn. Dress to Kill is at $22. Dress to Kill's at $25. And then that there's where we're going to pause for 1 second. Now, it's that weird time of the night, so let me get everybody accustomed to bidding between 6 o'clock, usually between 5 o'clock and 7 o'clock. Let me give you a few custom rules to bidding between the hours of 5 and 7. It is absolutely chaotic because there are people all over the world right now trying to figure out how to bid on these, and they're driving, they're cooking, and it's just chaotic. So about every 30 seconds, someone's going to ask the details for one of these auctions. And when that happens, it's going to extend the auction. Now, after 7 o'clock, I move stuff a lot quickly, and hopefully by then everybody's up. But just in the last 30 seconds, 4 more people have asked, what is Dressed to Kill? And another person, once again, has asked, what is Ace Frehley? So everybody's getting on the feed right now. It's like that for the first hour, especially 2 hours when we used to really start closer to 5. They're not over till they're over. I try to move as fast as possible, but when somebody gets on, they're like, hey, I wanted to bid on this. So there's that. So the last thing on this, Ralph, do you want to bid? It's totally up to you. Scott Wynn has it for $105. And then Dressed to Kill is a 2014 remaster. It's sealed. This is not OG. It's a sealed remaster. And the last bid was Randy Siebert at $25. Everybody else is out. I just got to work on getting everybody in. I got to get everybody in the groove, the New York groove. Otherwise, it's going to be hysteria for about the first hour. How many people are trying to cook supper right now and bid? Ralph DeVenturino's back in on Ace Frehley, 120. Scott Wynn, it's up to you. Ralph has it for 120. The first person on the rush box was Aaron Jolly. Thank you, Aaron Jolly, on the rush box. Let's tag one of those to Aaron Jolly. Ace Frehley's at $120. None of the auctions are over until I say they're sold. Scott Wynn, you're out on Ace Frehley. Dressed to Kill's at $27. It's just as fair for somebody to hop on and say, what is this? And if they ask, then I have to give it a few more seconds for them to bid, even if it's been up for 32 minutes. Chris Kirkley also got a rush box set. That's sold to Chris Kirkley. And that's rush box set number 2. Scott Wynn, it's all up to you on Ace Frehley. It's at $120. Ralph Venturino, going twice, going 3 times. Let me figure out how many extra rush box sets I'm going to have. Possibly 0. You heading out, Tanner? Who are you, Caden? Caden's heading out. Thank you. Let me set this right over here. You heading out, Caden? Thank you. Sorry I can't look at you. I'm really focused right now. There's a lot going on. If I stopped and tried to talk to you, I'd make some more people even more matter. Okay? I'm in full, I can't have any distractions. Okay. Now, this is sold to Ralph Venturino for $120. I lost Scott Wynn again. Ralph, it's sold to you for $120. Okay, next thing we have is there was Paul Brothers, Steve Howe, Damon. Okay, so the rush box sets, Paul Brothers and Steve Howe were the next 2 people. Rush box sets was Paul Brothers and Steve Howe. That's the next 2, Paul Brothers and Steve Howe. Okay, there's that, and there's that. Now Scott says out. Scott must have a 2 or 3 minute lag, okay? You got to also keep in mind, some people on Facebook, I have legitimately seen by the time some people say, how much is this? Or what is this auction at? By the time I tell them and it gets to their monitor and then they hit a bid in, it could be 3 minutes before it pops up and I officially call it here. It happens all the time. So New York Groove is sold. That might be the most controversial auction of the night, but it may not be the last. Dressed to Kill's at 26, Scully Matt's at 27. There's some very passionate people right now about Ace Frehley stuff, for sure. Next is this. We have the last rush box set, which I will put back in the shipping box, is sold to Damon Dignor. Okay, so Damon Dignor got the last one. There's still 2 people on the rush pre-order. I don't know if I'm expecting more. I can't remember how many I ordered, or I don't know if I'm sold out and I got to order more because I didn't order enough. So the last rush box that I have on hand is officially sold to Damon D. Okay, Damon Dignor. That is sold to Damon Dignor. And that is the last one I have on hand. Scott Beebe and David Eberle still on the pre-order, and I think a couple people have commented live. And then let me update all the KISS auctions. Let me update you on the weather. Let me update you on Gene Simmons, Paul Stanley, Peter Criss, Ace Frehley, and anybody else you want to get an update on. I'll try my best, okay? You can watch on Facebook. You can watch on YouTube. You can watch on X. You can also watch on Twitch. And it seems like most people have preferred Twitch as of lately, just FYI, okay? And some places, depending on where your Wi-Fi is, where your connection is, you have better luck on other platforms. Okay. So, over here, Mike Pierce. Is this a Rhino reissue? Mike, thanks. I didn't see. Well, Mike, I don't know if you actually said, okay, I'll take one. Okay, I got you here. Sorry, I thought you were just having a conversation there with Craig. Okay, so we need to give that last one, instead of Damon Dignor, we need to give that one to Mike Pierce. So that last one I had on hand, just in case more doesn't come in, we need to give to Mike Pierce instead of Damon D. So there's three people on the Rush box set pre-order, okay? 3 people left on the Rush box set pre-order. 3 people left on the Rush box set pre-order. Damon D, Scott Beebe, and David Eberle. 2 people have commented live that they want one. They will be number 4 and they'll be number 5. Number 1 was Solarplex Studios, so he's 4th on the wait list now. And number 5 was John Gollin. Nobody else has claimed one live. If anybody else wants one, I'm going to order. There might be more on the way and they just didn't show up. I surely would have ordered a lot of extras, especially one for me because I don't have one myself. Okay? There's that. And let me pause right there and say this. Dress to Kill is sold. Okay? Dress to Kill is sold. And Dress to Kill is sold to Scully Mac for $27. This is sold to Scully Mac for $27. There's that. Now, though Dennis Daly also wants a Rush box set, put Dennis Daly down for one too. Anybody else? Here's what it looks like. We're talking about this right here. 2 albums that's been out of print for a long time. Those can get pricey as reissues. I mean, when they have come through, 100, 200 each on these, especially if they're QRP ones. And of course, these new are in print, but they're $45 albums. So not bad, $160, everything in a box. And the box always seems to carry a premium. Okay, now there's something else I get asked about tonight, and my answer is going to remain the same. And I'll have to have some people help me because there's a lot of pre-orders and I have some people getting restless. And I know at some point there's going to be a riot. I said this last week, but here's my answer. I have no update on the KISS lot other than they're due in between 1 and 2 weeks. So they could be in this week, they could be in next week. That's going to be my answer until I have them on hand. Until they're delivered here in this building, I'm going to say they're either due in this week or next week. Now, if I keep saying that, I could have some people literally show up and riot because I've had one person say, Chad, whatever it takes, I got to have that KISS lot ASAP. And I'm like, I have really no control on it, but I'll try to get it here as fast as possible. This is a 2014 reissue, a sealed reissue, a $15 start for KISS, self-titled $15 start. When did the $27 bid come in for Dress to Kill? Dress to Kill was up here at $27 with Scully Mac. He bid right after you did, Randy, over on Twitch. Dress to Kill 26, and he had it for 27. This is a $15 start. Now, I hope nobody shows up and riots and breaks out my windows here at the store because KISS lights hadn't shown up faster than they wanted them to. I'm trying my best. Please don't show up and riot, okay? Question number 2 is autographs tonight. If I do any, it will be probably KISS-related stuff. There is no chance an Ozzy autograph is going to be sold tonight. I'm going to put it at a 0% chance. Kiss, $15 start. If you want to bid on the 45, put 45. And this is Dirty Living and Sure Know Something. We'll do a $10 start on Sure Know Something's the A side. Casablanca Records, $10 start on that. Did I miss anybody? Did I miss anybody? If I did, let me know right now. And if you do ask a question, I don't answer it, copy that message, go to Facebook Messenger, send it to Messenger, and Ed will reply to tomorrow. Otherwise, we're not going to be able to have a sale tonight. Otherwise, we're not going to be able to sell any merchandise tonight. And then Chad's going to be upset, and everybody else is going to be upset. I love apple fritters. I'll eat them any day of the week. So if I miss a question, or maybe you send it 3 times and I'm not answering, probably because maybe I don't have time to answer because it might take too long, or I don't have the answer, but you can always ask Ed. And if it goes to the page, then I can answer you maybe tonight. Okay? So, new Rocktober. And then the Kiss box. That was a waiting list. Hopefully they're available and we can get them back in later. Bad Company, The Definite Collection, 1974 to 1982. This is a double LP on silver vinyl, $36.99. And this is called A Rock and Roll Fantasy. It's essentially the best of Bad Company. It is a 2 LP. It's new for Rocktober. Now, it's been out before. $36.99. Bad Company. This is back in print, though, for Rocktober. It comes out Friday. This is David Eberly. Thank you, David Eberly. That's so to you. He was pre-order number 1. Kiss is at $24. Kiss is at $24 with Bob Riger. And the Kiss single does not have a bid yet. Make sure you put 45 and you put $10 like Jamie Diaz did. Thank you, Jamie Diaz. David Eberly first on Bad Company. Then George Jones was next. Okay, then George was next. And then Dustin Whitaker and Sherry Darnell. Dustin Whitaker and Sherry Darnell. There's 2 more sold. We got Paul Brothers and Mark White. Paul Brothers and Mark White. Jen Cast and Danny Thomason. Jen Cast and Danny Thomason. Melanie Jennings and Clifford Umstead. Melanie Jennings and Clifford Umstead. Also, Aaron Andrus and Catherine Lutz. Aaron Andrus and Catherine Lutz. There's 2 more sold. Now, if you know for sure that you wasn't on the pre-order and you want one, let me know. Don Nicole and Jason Daub. Don Nicole and Jason Daub. Joy Fino and Stephen Parton. Joy Fino and Stephen Parton. Tony McDaniel and Todd Emick. Tony McDaniel and Todd Emick. Those are 2 more sold, okay? So those are sold and sold. I still got pre-orders. The reason I'm pausing is because I have filled up a full crate. I just got on, sounds like I missed something intense. No, nothing intense was happening. Everybody's got the Monday jumpies, like Otis. You know, Otis comes in, he's real excited. I've got a lot of very excited customers for everything that's coming in this week. And it's my job. I gotta keep everybody under control. I'm like security here. Otherwise, I have a lot of people that get restless. And they're like, Chad, dude, I've got to get these Kiss records. Otherwise, I'm going to come and ride at your store. And I'm like, please don't ride at my store. I promise we'll get to them tonight. Bad Company is sold to Dean Tefford. And then the next pre-order is Matthew Sherrick. So Dean Tefford and Matthew Sherrick. Okay. And then we have Robert Matthews. And then we have Carla Brecky. And then we have James Davidson and Kenny Cates Jr. And that was the last 4. And we have 2 more. We have 2 more over here. The high bid on this Kiss single is $11. The first bid was 11, and then somebody did 10, then somebody else did 10, and then somebody else did 11, and somebody else did 11. But Eric Dogg was the very first bid, and he still has it for 11. And then over here, Kiss, the last bid was David Pitts at $25. Now, there was 2 Bad Companies left, and before we do anything on those, let me do something right over here. Give me 1 second. Okay. And then David Dole was first on Bad Company, and then Brian Stern. We are officially sold out of the Bad Company Rocktober exclusives. Does anybody else want on the pre-order? Or does anybody else want on a wait list? We're now officially sold out on a waiting list. Cindy Yarborough was number 3. I had 2 extras, so she'll be first on the wait list for this week. Eric Dog has the single for $11. Everybody else is out. David Pitts has the sealed 2014. That's what we're bidding on over here. This sealed 2014 self-titled. That's a remaster. The most recent bid was David Pitts at $25. I want to make sure everybody else was bidding knows they're out and that David Pitts has it for $25. There's been 4 bids on the Kiss single. It started at 10. There's been 4 different bids and it's at $11. So it hadn't moved much. That was the end of the Bad Company. So this is essentially new for Thursday, new for Friday, a Bad Company greatest hits. A Bad Company greatest hits. It's on silver vinyl. That comes out. Also over here, we have New Order. Craig, is this the one you wanted? Let me see if Craig Sweden needs one. And then over here, we have New Order. Let me see if there was a pre-order for this. I'm pretty sure it was. Now, this isn't Rocktober, but it's just new for Friday. They have put back in New Order. And, wow, very rarely I post a pre-order and it doesn't get any pre-orders. New Order Low Life due out this Friday, Halloween, and there's no pre-orders. So, and that's typically not in print, especially for that price, just $29.99. These are sealed Japanese Gene Simmons CDs. We've sold 1. I have 2 left. They're $29.99. $29.99 for Gene Simmons. $29.99 sealed. There's that. And then this was a special request for Troy Robinson. Outcast Stankonia, a 25th anniversary 3LP purple marble vinyl, and that is $61.99. Outcast Stankonia 3LP purple marble vinyl, and with new updated artwork and bonus insert. That was a special request for Troy Robinson. If anybody else wants one, let me know. Eric Dog, it's up to you on the single. You were outbid. And then over here, Kiss. Kiss over here is officially sold, and Kiss is sold to David Pitts at $25, okay? There's that, and now we're bidding on this single, which Eric Dog has it for $14. Let's move that over. Let's grab another auction, okay? Let's grab something a little different this time. We've had a whole collection of those remasters. Let's go ahead and put up something a little bit different. Let's do Peter Criss, which is his 2021 U.S. reissue of his solo album. It's actually all analog, remastered from the original analog tape. First ever U.S. pressing on vinyl is what the hop sticker says. It is a $20 start on that, okay? And then the Kiss single is at $14 with Eric Dog, which means Brad Waits, you're out, and Brad Waits says he's done. This is all that I have left in this bin. I got 2 copies of New Order. Paul Brothers also wants on that Bad Company waiting list. Should be 2 people now for the Bad Company greatest hits. All right. Anybody else? I'm about to put up. So we got 45 Peter Criss, and I've got some more Japanese CDs over here. Some Kiss, I think, but mostly other stuff. They're about to go up for auction. All right, let me put these away. And here in the first part of the show tonight, we're knocking out the Rocktober stuff. I'm going to try to keep a mental tab on everything we've sold out of so we can do waiting lists later. Got some cool Kiss stuff. I'm going to try to sell some Ace Frehley autographs tonight. That was some stuff I just had authenticated. About everything else in that post is probably going to start tomorrow, and because I got to start doing research on them tonight as far as what's available, how much they sell for, what we can start it at. And of course, we've already got photos. I took photos of everything for 2 hours this morning. And let me grab this next crate here. And let's do this. Thanks everybody for tuning in for Monday Night Kiss Night. It's been action-packed, to say the least, and we're just getting started. It's just now after the 7 o'clock hour. It is completely action-packed. Beyond action-packed. There's so much going on. Earlier, I couldn't even, my eyes went crossed. I think I had 12 pending questions, 7 bid controversies, and that was all within 60 seconds. Next auction. So if you want to bid on this, you can put Kiss. This is Animalize, which is the German import with the alternate S's. Animalize is the 2014 German with the alternate S. $15 start on Kiss, okay? So single is at 16, Peter Criss is at 26, and then if you want to bet on Animalize, of course, you can put Kiss. Now, I had these back ordered with like 2 different places because we're always needing them, and then all of a sudden, they show up at different times, and here they are, Jackal. Their self-titled album, about the only thing they have in print, and it's a music on vinyl pressing, $39.99. Kiss Animalize is a $15 start. It's a sealed 2014 German press. That's why it has a different Kiss logo. It already has a bid for $15, and then Peter Criss is at $15. Jackals are $39. There was no waiting list for that. There was no pre-order for that. Jackals are just good to go. All right, we've already done one ZZ Top Rhino. Here's the other ZZ Top Rhino. This one is ZZ Top Afterburner, and this one is $39.99. Also part of this new Rhino series, $39.99 for ZZ Top Afterburner. And let me start reading off right now everybody who gets one of these, okay? First person is Stacy Brown and Joseph Ellis. So Stacy Brown and Joseph Ellis, Brent Robley and Paul Brothers, Jerry Stone and Clifford Umstead, Scott Markham and Brad Waits, Rick Peabody and Brandon Jones, Bill Samus and Jim Berg, and then the last person was Joy Fino. So if you wasn't on the pre-order for ZZ Top, the new Rhino High Fidelity limited edition, and you want one, now would be the time to claim it, because I do have in hand, right now I can sell you one, up to 5 copies. After you run out of Kiss stuff, can we have a Mac Davis night? Well, the other night you wasn't on, and I'm not joking, once again, you missed 2 more Mac Davis records. They were different ones too. You've missed them, because you're not watching every second of every live stream at every moment. If you tune out for one of the 3 seconds of the 8 hours I'm live, you're going to miss something. And you're going to be, holy crap, how did I miss that? It's because you got off the stream. You better have me somewhere where you can hear me, see me, and talk to me, or you're going to miss something. David Dole on ZZ Top, okay? There's that. Chad, can you check to see if your outer sleeves fit the Rhinos? We can check, but these outer sleeves will fit. They will fit a small box set. So yeah, they should, no problem. These will fit a small box set, no problem. So they should easily slip into the Rhinos. Yeah, no problem. So yeah, our outer sleeves, they will actually fit a small, like All Things Must Pass box set. Packs of 100 are $29.99, okay? We got all the new Rhinos in this week. The last bit on this Kiss single over here, Eric Dog went out, and that means Ralph Venturino had it for $16. Peter Criss is now at 40 with Cindy Yarborough. And over here, we have Kiss, and the last bid on this, Animalize, was one bid with Chris Gardner for $15. One bid with Chris Gardner for $15. Jamie McCord wants a ZZ Top, and Cosmo Kramer wants 1 pack of outer sleeves. Okay? Next is Snowblind and New York Groove, a U.S. edition, Ace Frehley. We're going to call it VG. It's got some scuffs right here. Okay? New York Groove and Snowblind from his solo album, $10 start on that. What's left in here? ZZ Top and Jackals. Had a lot of Jackals. $39.99, okay? Let's grab another crate. I think I'm going to do one more crate, which has a big pre-order. And then we're going to go ahead and do one of our first vintage crates. And after that, well, that will still leave 4 more crates of new vinyl, which are mostly Rocktober pre-orders. But we'll do one more over here that's kind of mixed. It has a surprise restock, and it has another ZZ Top pre-order. Okay, so we'll do that, and that leaves 3 more crates. We had 9 crates of new vinyl, which is what we're working on right now, all the new Rocktober stuff. Okay? Do inner sleeves come with rice paper? So the inner sleeves we sell, if we say you want a pack of inner sleeves, that's the exact ones we use that Laura's in the back right now using for auctions. So they're anti-static archival. If we say inner sleeves, that's what we're talking about. I don't sell the paper inner sleeves anymore because honestly, paper inner sleeves are not the best. I would use those if you're like storing a $5 or $10 record. But the ones we use for auctions, if we say we're selling you a pack of inner sleeves, we're talking about these. This is what I recommend putting all your vinyl in. It's anti-static. It's not going to scuff anything. White paper sleeves or just any kind of paper sleeves like these are actually scuffing the record about any time you take it out of there. It's kind of hard to tell, but it does. They're pretty coarse. Some of them feel like sandpaper, right? So if you kind of feel the inside of them. Some of these newer inner sleeves, that's why we have so many returns on brand new albums, and we end up having to tell people there's nothing we can really do about it. A lot of brand new records have like big glossy inner sleeves, and as soon as you pull it out brand new, it looks like it's scuffed. And that's because it got hung on the edge of those inner sleeves. That's literally like construction paper. So a lot of people that's designing these albums want really cool, nice, glossy, printed inner sleeves. But the truth is they're horrible for storing vinyl. So I recommend buying these. So we sell packs of 50 for $26.99. And then we sell packs of 100 outer sleeves for $29.99. And MoFi sleeves evidently are back in stock. And I'm probably going to be trying to post a pre-order for those. Let's pull up the next ZZ Top. This is El Loco, Rhino Hi-Fi Series, ZZ Top El Loco. It looks like there was 13 pre-orders. Okay, and the first person who pre-ordered 7 weeks ago was Joseph Ellis and then Brent Robley. Joseph Ellis and Brent Robley. Paul Brothers and Stan McNessie. Paul Brothers and Stan McNessie. Clifford Umstead and John Durden. Clifford Umstead and John Durden. Scott Markheim and Brandon Jones. Scott Markheim and Brandon Jones. And then we had Bill Samus and Jerry Stone. Bill Samus and Jerry Stone. And then we have, that's it. Okay? And that's how many extras I have. This is 2, 4, 6. I got 8 extra copies of El Loco. ZZ Top. $39.99. That comes out Friday as part of Rocktober. And before I update a single auction, let me step right over here and say that we have managed to fill up another crate. That's already number 4 tonight. Let's put in a new empty crate. Anybody else on this? So first thing we have is Kiss Animalize. The most recent bid was Cameron Koning at $16. Okay, but somebody else had already bid $20. Mike Steele, or is that Mark Steele? Mark Steele bid $20 on Animalize. Animalize is the alternate German S logo because it's a 2014 German remaster import. I've got Mark Steele at $20 on that. New York Groove, the last bid on New York Groove was right here, which is Ace. It was at 15, 16, and then 20. Ralph Venturino is out. This one goes to Scott Wynn for $20, okay? Ralph gets that one for $20. Peter Criss, the last bid on Peter Criss, this remaster, was Cindy Yarborough at $45 for Peter. $45 for Peter Criss. Next thing was Jamie McCord, got a ZZ Top. Michael McCullen got a ZZ Top. Those were sold live. I got 2 copies of Puddle of Mud Come Clean. Bear with me because I think there is a waiting list for that. I'll have to go up front for the first time tonight and get my laptop. And then this was a surprise restock. This has been out of print and unavailable. And I also had somebody say, Chad, whenever these come in, I want one. Slayer Christ Illusion has been out of stock. I had 10 on back order, and poof, here they are. Slayer is $34.99. Let me step up here and grab my computer because I think there's somebody saying they want one of those. And there's somebody that wanted a Puddle of Mud that was on a waiting list. And I think I might go ahead and try to find one of those first Ace Frehley's autographs and try to run it tonight. I'll have to see if I can move the image over to the screen. I'm also going to grab a Monster. I'm going to grab some Fudge Stripes, and I'm going to grab a laptop. Monsters, Fudge Stripes, laptop. Monsters, everybody say it with me. Monsters, Fudge Stripes, laptop. Monsters, Fudge Stripes, laptops. Fudge laptop, Stripes, Monsters. Striped Monsters, Fudge Laptops, cookies. Wow, look at all this stuff up here. Hope nobody's outside rioting. Uh-oh, there's people outside holding torches. Oh my gosh, there's already people outside. Laura, there's people already outside in front of the store holding torches. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. It's officially not safe for me to come out in public anymore. They know I have the KISS records. Oh no. Okay, so let me open up my laptop over here. Christ Illusion's been out of print, and I think like if you were to have got one of those yesterday, they would have been a lot more than that. So let me open up that and see if I have that old waiting list. And let me search Slayer. And I probably don't have that person down. I usually don't take future waiting lists because I never know when they're going to be in. I used to do that, and then something would show up, and then I would get a message saying, sorry, I already bought it. So I don't have anybody down for a Slayer, so they're all available live, okay? So the first thing is this, Slayer, out on Ace, ZZ Top, okay? Jay Barnes, Metallica is a 2LP remaster, $44.99. It's a new sealed. I recommend it, $44.99. Bob Riger got a Slayer. Chris Gardner bid $21 on Animalize. Jay Barnes got a Slayer. Chris Sheridan got a Slayer. Peter Criss got a new bid for $50. Cindy Yarborough, you got outbid. Cosmo Kramer got a Slayer. Darren Johnson got a Slayer. Jim Berg got a Slayer. And I have 4 Slayers left. And then I have 1 copy of Playboy Cardi Dalit. And this doesn't have is that something for Laura? And then Craig Sweden, did you answer if you needed a new order low life, Craig Sweden? Because I think you had sent Ed a message earlier saying you were possibly interested. And when I say, do you need one, I'm asking, do you want one for free for all your help you do here for us, is what I'm asking you, Craig Sweden. Not do you want to buy and pay for one. I'm asking, do you want one for free? Jay Barnes said he will take an Injustice for All. John Mincemoyer on Slayer. Manny Ray on Slayer. Jerry Torres on Slayer. And Jake Gold on Slayer. So yeah, this has been out of stock for as long as I've been ordering Slayer records. So $34.99 on that. And now we're sold out. Jake Gold was the last person. Cindy's back in on Peter Criss at 51. So Cindy's back in. Jamie Diaz, you're out on Peter Criss. Craig Sweden on New Order. Thank you, Craig Sweden. And shout out to Craig Sweden for everything he does. He hops on every night, sometimes 2, 3, 4 hours a night, sharing track listings so we can move through this show faster. One of the things that slow me down every night is trying to answer questions that's not related to selling or doing track listings. So if Craig can help me out any way, he does. Let me actually just lay this on Ed's desk. I'm not going to put that in the crate. I'll make sure that gets to Craig. Craig, you'll probably have that by Thursday out in California. They'll get that shipped out tomorrow too. He'll have that by Thursday. So shout out to Craig. He saves a lot of time. Like I said, we don't have a lot of time here every night, even though I'm here for 8 hours. Majority of y'all are only here realistically 3 or 4 hours at the most. And so I try to go as fast as I can without any interruptions so we can show and sell vinyl. And Craig helps me out a lot sharing those track listings. Otherwise, we would be in trouble, folks. If I had every auction, read every track listing, he saves me thousands of dollars every night. All right, so thank you, Craig. And Puddle of Mud was no waiting list, so that's available if anybody wants it, $39.99. So Cindy's out on Peter Criss. 55. Laura didn't order Playboy Cardi. I don't know where it came from, and I don't have a price. So there's that. And we're down here at the bottom. And let's go ahead and do this. He's a final call. Let's put up another KISS single. Let's do Hard Times and I Was Made for Loving You. This one's also about VG. If you want to bid on this one, put 45 for 45. And don't forget, Animalize is at $26 with Matt Nichols, and that's a 2014 German edition. The only thing left in here is ZZ Top El Loco, the Rhino All Analog Hi-Fi for $39, and Puddle of Mud Come Clean is $39. Let's go ahead and knock out 1 crate of vintage pre-owned. We still got 3 crates of new Rocktobers, and most of those are pre-orders, okay? Most of those are pre-orders, but there is some variety in a couple of these. And now the first 6 crates of new vinyl is all left into one, okay? And before I bring that over, I'm probably going to show it now and then show it after the vintage. Here is a quick showing right over here of everything left in the first 6 crates. Red vinyl, Pet Cemetery, Ramones, $29.99. New Faces, Early Faces, $29.99. Stooges Funhouse, alternate version, $29. ZZ Top Degüello, Hi-Fi, all analog, $39. New Order, $29.99. Low Life, that's been out of print. Can't believe we hadn't sold more. And there was no pre-orders. Jackal was a surprise restock, kind of like Slayer. These are just been unavailable. They've been in print, but just not available. $39.99. The other ZZ Top was Afterburner, $39, and then the most recent was El Loco, $39, and then 2 more Puddles of Mud, $39.99. All right, so that's so far everything left out of the 6 crates. We got a waiting list for the Rush box set. We got a waiting list for Bad Company, and here in a minute I'll give you the details on everything. Let's go through our first crate of vintage pre-owned, and then probably after this one we'll knock out the next 3 crates of stuff. I usually start with check condition if he marked check condition. He did mark check condition. I like the check condition stuff. It's usually really good titles at really good prices. Let me do a quick flip through here. And these are always best offer as well. So don't go anywhere, and I'm about to put up a whole new batch of new auctions. Yep, great looking stuff in here. So let's do these buy it now or best offer. Okay. I didn't pull anything out. Sometimes I pull stuff out and auction it. Everything was left in here. First thing is this, is looking for a Tahoe. Well, I sold one at auction. I sold a Tahoe at auction last Friday, and I don't know what it sold for down here at Richardson Auction. I have no idea what it sold for. I wish I knew. Manny Ray, I don't know if I've got $10,000 coming to me or $18,000 coming to me, but I don't know. I dropped it off at an auction. And my old Tahoe, I don't know what it sold for. I would really like to know how much money I have coming my way, but I have no idea. Manny Ray on Jackal. That's sold to Manny Ray. Thank you. Okay. Let's go ahead and sell Peter Criss then, the Jamie Diaz. Jamie Diaz, Peter Criss is $55. Scott, are you going to dark mode Saturday night? I'm assuming you are. Seth said you are. You're coming along for the Oklahoma dark mode, huh? We have Kiss. No one bid on this, right? We're looking for a $10 start on this 45. And then Kiss Animalize. The last bid on Animalize was Matt Nichols at 26. Chris Gardner, you're out, okay? Chris Gardner, you're out. There's that, and let's add another single. Or let's add another auction. Let's add something. Let's try to do Unplugged. So if you want to bid on this, put Unplugged. Unplugged is a 2014 US with poster. Unplugged is a $35 start. Unplugged is a $35 start. It's a 2014 with poster, $35 start. Okay? I'll be in Indianapolis. Wow. I need to figure out what time. Well, I guess I don't need to know right now, but I do have a lot. Friday night's going to be, let me think about this. Okay, Saturday, it's a night game. Okay, we'll be good then. We'll be good then. Animalize, the last bid was Matt Nichols at $26. Yes, close to the edge. This is VG condition, $9.99. Close to the edge, VG condition, $9.99. Close to the edge, VG $9.99. Steve Howe Beginnings. Steve Howe is VG Plus, $9.99 for Steve Howe Beginnings. And then also we have Bachman Turner Overdrive. BTO is in VG Plus condition, $9.99. So we had Yes, then we had Steve Howe, the guitarist from Yes, and then we have BTO, and this is all a buy it now, best offer price. A buy it now, best offer, okay? We have 10 years after, A Space and Time, VG Plus $14.99, Steve Howe, sold to Matt Nichols. There's a lot on my calendar lately. I actually got to sit down and get with Laura and Paul and see who wants to do certain shows. I'm actually going to be gone about 4 nights in December, around the middle of December. I'm going to be gone for McCartney next week. I'm going to be gone for McCartney next week 2 times, Sunday, Monday, and Thursday. So yeah, there's a lot going on. I'm not going to be here too much in December and November. I take that back. I'll be here almost every night. I'm going to miss like four nights out of 2 months, but I won't be here. Well, that's why we got Laura and Paul, right? New Order is sold over here. Who got New Order? New Order is sold to somebody. JK over on Twitch got New Order, okay? JK over on Twitch. This is Gene Simmons. It's a new seal Japanese CD, 2016, $29.99. We've already sold one. There's one left. Brian Call got BTO for $11. That is sold. And we have Rod Stewart, Never a Dull Moment. Rod Stewart's in VG Plus, $17.99. And Roxy Music. Excuse that cover. Roxy Music's EX, $22.99. And King Crimson, I love this jacket here. EX, $47.99 for In the Wake of Poseidon. In the Wake of Poseidon here, okay? So Brian said, yes, BTO, yes, and BTO. Now, was that, oh, wait a minute. He was, that was a combined deal. Hold on a minute. Brian, you put yes and BTO 11. So these were, I messed up on that one. These were $9.99 and $9.99. If you want these, I'll do them for $7 and $7. I can do them for $7 and $7. Somebody's already offered $7 for yes, and then I'll do $7 on BTO. Sorry, I messed that up. And then Bill Samus got Roxy Music, and then Animalize has a new bid for $30. And then Unplugged, which was Mark Overton, has it for $35. It's the 2014 with poster. Mark Overton, $35. And then Kiss, the 45 here, I Was Made for Loving You, VG condition, no bid, a $10 buy it now. So Brian Call got yes and BTO for $7 and $7. This is new pre-owned stuff, buy it now or best offer. We have Roy Gallagher live in shrink wrap, VG Plus $14.99. Crosby, Stills and Nash, VG Plus $24.99 for CSN. VG Plus $24.99 for CSN. Gene Simmons does not want to stay up back there. Also, we have Hall & Oates Voices, EX $17.99, and The Best of Animals, VG $9.99. Best of Animals, VG $9.99, and Eric Burden and the Animals Love Is. That's one of their Animals albums. VG Plus $29.99 for that. So over here, the last bid on Animalize was Matt Nichols at $30. Now Unplugged is at $36. Now Animalize is at $31, and now the Kiss single is sold to Chris Gardner for $10. The first thing is Brian Call on Roy Gallagher for $12. Go ahead and sell that to Brian Call for $12. John Durden on the Animals Best. The House of the Rising Sun is on there. That's sold to John Durden for $7. And we have Loverboy, Get Lucky. Loverboy's in shrink wrap. Everybody's Working for the Weekend, $17.99. Argent, all together now. That has their hit song, Hold Your Head Up, EX $17.99. And then Dire Straits, Making Movies. Dire Straits is VG Plus, $19.99. Nancy Sinatra and Lee Hazelwood, VG condition. Nancy and Lee, $9.99 for Nancy and Lee Hazelwood. Okay, so they're still bidding on Animalize. Unplugged has a new bid for $36, so the first bidder at $35 is out. Mark Overton, just FYI, you have been outbid on that. Just FYI, just letting you know. I've got a couple Japanese pressings for kind of what I call closeouts. It was a few that was left over last week, and they're down to their final price reduction of $15 starts. And the first one for a $15 start is going to be this Jeff Beck compilation. It's called Go Disc. So it's a compilation on Japanese vinyl. It's called Go Disc, and it can be picked up for a $15 start. $15 start. It has an insert, it has a 2-page flip, and it has a cover and obi. Speaking of Gene Simmons, I found out, because I was planning in the future maybe like a huge, like Coletco convention, Coletco Con. And so I was like, well, if I want to do it, I seen Gene Simmons making these appearances. What does it cost to get Gene Simmons to show up? And I found out, I think he was in Baltimore at that convention over the last couple days, and I found out over like 2 days to book Gene Simmons to sign autographs, it's about $500,000. 2 days with Gene Simmons to sign autographs costs about $500,000 to book them. And of course, I think he still gets the autograph revenue too. So I thought that was a crazy statistic, but He gets booked up, no problem, and lots of people show up. Neil Young, everybody knows this is nowhere. VG Plus, $24.99. Neil Young, everybody knows this is nowhere. First thing was Animalize 35, Animalize 36. Mark Overton on Dire Straits for $15. That was sold to Mark Overton for $15. Animalize 37, Jeff Beck's at $15. Animalize 38. And we also have the Pretenders. This is EX Edition, $17.99. EX Edition, $17.99. Yeah, I found out some numbers on some of those guys. Like William Shatner is like $100,000 for a one-day appearance. Crazy, right? Crazy. Power Station, 33 1/3. Gold Stamp Promo, EX Edition, Power Station, $22.99 for Power Station. And Fog Hat Boogie Motel. This is EX, $12.99. Fog Hat, EX, $12.99. And Robert Palmer, Sneakin' Sally Through the Alley, EX, $17.99. Seth would do that for half. He would show up for half that, wouldn't he? Seth would show up and sign autographs for $100. But yeah, for Gene Simmons to have to travel, get on a plane, show up, and stand and sign autographs all day, he charges about $250,000. So, and he gets all the autograph revenue. So you got to sell a lot of tickets to conventions for it to come out ahead from the math I've ran. Court and Spark, Joni Mitchell. Now, is that number true? I have a feeling it is, but I would like to really know, especially anybody else in the KISS camp. Paul Stanley and Peter. I'm sure there's some people watching right now that know those guys that probably could find out, but I'm very curious. Get the Knack is EX $12.99. Get the Knack, EX $12.99. And John Mayall, The Turning Point. John Mayall is EX Edition, $19.99 on John Mayall. Culture Club Kiss and Be Clever, EX $22.99, and Hall & Oates, Bigger Than Both of Us. That's EX $17.99. This is all buy it now, best offer stuff. The most recent bid on Animalize, Matt Nichols, you're out. It's at $39. The last bid that came in on Unplugged, Mark Overton went out. Unplugged is officially sold to Cameron Koenig for $36. That is sold. And then over here, we have Jeff Beck. And Jeff Beck, the last bid on Jeff Beck was 17 with Samuel Kopech. So new bid, $17 of Samuel Kopech. Power Station, Matt Nichols offered $17. That's sold to Matt Nichols for $17. Robert Palmer, Mark Overton offered $15. Sell that to Mark Overton. Matt Nichols got the Knack, My Sharona. There's that. And Joni Mitchell, a great album here, Court and Spark. That is EX, $17.99. We have the Moody Blues, Every Good Boy Deserves Favor. VG Plus, $14.99 for Moody Blues. And Greg Kihn, Rock and Roll Band, Shrink Wrap with the Sheila Hype sticker. Greg Kihn is EX, $17.99. We also have a nice King Crimson, a 69 OG in the Court of the Crimson King. VG Plus, $36.99. Over here, Kiss Animalize. Kiss Animalize, the most recent bid was Chris Gardner at $39, and that is sold. That is sold. That is done. And let's move this over here. The last bid on Jeff Beck that came in was Tim Grindstaff at $20. Time for more new KISS stuff. Stephen Parton got Joni Mitchell for $14. That's sold. And then over here we got MB for $12, which was Moody Blues. That's sold to Stephen Parton for $12. And Jeff Beck has a new bid for $20. All right, let's do some of the high-end KISS stuff tonight. Take a look at this. This is a real sealed OG Ace Frehley picture disc. This is the original 1978 limited edition picture disc, and it's sealed. It's never been opened. It does have some wear on the shrink wrap, but there's no really rips or tears. It's an original sealed picture disc of Ace Frehley from 1978, an $85 start. $85 start. Next is Lou Reed Berlin. That's VG $14.99 for Lou Reed Berlin. And Jethro Tull Stand Up has the original pop-up cover. It's called Stand Up with the pop-up cover. Very good album by Tull. OG VG Plus $19.99. So if you want to bid on Ace, put AF for Ace. He is an $85 start. And then this earlier was a no bid, so I have another one if anybody wants to grab it for buy it now. $10. I Was Made for Loving You in Hard Times, which is an Ace Frehley song. $10. It has some writing on the label, VG vinyl. $10 on that Kiss single, okay? Ace has a bid for $15. Brad Waite's got Jethro Tull for $15. And Jeff Beck has a new bid for $22. Tim Grindstaff, you've been outbid. Let me go ahead and introduce another auction. So if you want to bid on that, put Ace Frehley. If you want to bid on this, put Kiss. And this is an 82 Japanese OG pressing of Killers. I repeat, an 82 Japanese OG pressing of Killers. It is going to be a $75 start. The vinyl is near mint minus and pristine. It has the original Japanese inner sleeve. It has the Japanese insert. And it has this really cool thing here, which I don't see in too many of them for some reason. It has the fold-out insert with the pictures with Eric Carr, Paul Stanley, Ace Frehley. Very cool. And then there's Gene. We was just talking about him. An icon. Very cool. $75 start. So first thing was Ace Frehley 85. Wolverine put K for King Crimson. Is that right? If so, that's so to Wolverine. Or was that for Kiss? Let me know what K was for, Wolverine. Let me know what K was for, okay? And then Ace Frehley 90. Lou Reed 12. Let's go ahead and sell that to Tim Grindstaff. Stacy, you're either first or second on the single. Cameron, you're either second or third. Ace 95, Ace 100, Ace 105, and Ace 110. His K was for Kiss, so that's so to Wolverine. He was first, okay? Jeff Beck is still getting bids. It's up to 10 Grindstaff. Tim Samuel has it for $22. Nice face value, Phil Collins with a promo markings. They put the promo sticker over his mouth. Gold stamp promo. That has I Can Feel It Coming in the Air Tonight. VG Plus $14.99 on that. Sugar Loaf. This is a classic. This has Green Eyed Lady on it. On the original Liberty label. Green Eyed Lady, Lovely Lady. VG Plus $14.99. Bruce, Tunnel of Love. We've seen an uptick in prices on his stuff like autographs and memorabilia. There's a movie coming out about Mr. Bruce. VG Plus $14.99. Shrink wrap and hop sticker. Killers is at 80. Killers is at 80. Ace is at 120. Ace is at 120. Pat Benatar, Get Nervous. VG Plus $9.99. And Foreigner, Head Games. This is VG Plus $14.99. Samuel, you've been outbid on Jeff Beck. Just FYI. Right now, we're going through a really cool check condition. First come, first serve, okay? We got Phil Freeman on Sugar Loaf for $12. Phil, I will do this for $15. It's marked $19.99. Let's call it $15. It's yours, VG Plus condition. And then John Cassidy on Phil Collins. And then Dennis over on Twitch. That's Dennis, remind me one more time, and then they'll know for the rest of the night. Dennis on Twitch on Pat Benatar. That's sold to him. Phil Freeman on Sugar Loaf for $15. Green Eyed Lady, Lovely Lady. How cool is that, eh? And then we have Double Fun. That is by Robert Palmer, EX $17.99. Matt Nichols, I'm going to go ahead and sell him Foreigner for $12. Dennis Cole on Twitch. Dennis Cole got the Pat Benatar. Thank you. Foghat Night Shift is VG Plus $9.99. Foghat Night Shift. And we also have Billy Thorpe, Children of the Sun, VG $9.99 for Billy Thorpe. Grateful Dead, Oxa Muxa Oxo, 1976 pressing. Of course, this came out in the late 60s. This is a 76 press, VG Plus $34.99. And we have Hall & Oates, Abandoned Luncheonette, When the Morning Comes. Great song on here, EX $17.99 on that. When the Morning Comes, Sweet Ola, okay? So first thing we have is Jeff Beck's at 25. Tim Grindstaff, you're out. Mark Overton, Pat Benatar is already sold. Ace Frehley, the most recent bid was Brian Stern. That's an original sealed picture disc for $130. And Killers is at 81 with Mark. That's with Mark McCready. Okay, $81 on Killers. First is Billy for 8 and then Billy for sticker. So, Steven, you got basically bumped on that one. VG if you want it, $9.99. If not, I'll go ahead and sell it to Solarplex. Okay? Next thing over here is the price on the Greg Ken. Greg Ken was EX $17.99 Melanie. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and tag Steven with Billy Thorpe. That was an awesome check condition bin. And John's got 3 more like that over here. On deck is a signed Ace Frehley poster. I'm going to go ahead and run that tonight. We just got back hundreds of Jesse autographs. If I run anything tonight, it's going to be some signed signed Kiss stuff. I got some albums signed by Bruce Kulick. I've got a couple of Signed Ace Frehley items, and we're going to run those tonight. Might slip in a couple other things, but I don't really have a lot of research done. I kind of already know the prices on Ace because I was following it after he passed away. But other than that, everything will be tonight or later. Also, Kiss lights. I don't have an update. I was letting everybody know earlier. They could be, but I can't say for certain. That's one of those deals where I'm getting them somewhere else. It's not my typical where I can guarantee it almost. So they could be in this week, but I can't say for certain. And that's going to be, that's probably going to be my answer up until Friday when I know the last delivery has shown up. But as soon as I get an update, I'll let y'all know. Update right now on Kiss lights is, unfortunately, I don't know. Killers 82, Killers 85, Ace 140, Hall & Oates 10. Mark, I think I need, let's do that for 12, okay? Let's do that for 12. I'll go ahead and sell it to you. Here's what's left in here quickly. 10 years after, VG Plus $14.99. Rod Stewart VG Plus $17.99. King Crimson was EX $47.99. The Wake of Poseidon. CSN VG Plus $24.99. Hall & Oates is EX $17.99. Eric Burden was VG Plus $29.99. Loverboy Get Lucky EX $17. Argent was EX $17. Nancy and Lee was VG $9. Neil Young was VG Plus $24.99. The Pretenders was EX $17.99. Foghat was EX $12.99. Let's go ahead and sell Mark Overton Hall & Oates for $12. This is best offer. John Mayall is EX $19.99. Culture Club is EX $22.99. Another Hall & Oates EX $17.99. King Crimson, a 69 OG. You got to have that one, $36.99. Bruce was VG Plus 14. Robert Palmer, EX 17. Foghat was VG Plus 9. Grateful Dead, VG Plus 34. And EX 17.99. So Jeff Beck, the most recent bid on Jeff Beck was from the following person. Jeff Beck was Tim Grindstaff at $23. Samuel Kopech bid $25. And he says he's out. So Samuel Kopech, you get Jeff Beck for $25. Thank you on that. Dang it, my sleeves are up front. That's okay. I'll have... I'll go get a sleeve in just a second. Let me put this right there then. Let me put that right there. I'll go put that in a sleeve in just a second. So King Crimson is in VG Plus, $36.99. VG Plus jacket, not bad, honestly. And VG Plus vinyl. Okay, Hess and Ast, and then Matt Nichols. The Ace Frehley is moving to a final call. David Pitts at $145. It is up to Brian Stern. Brian, it is all up to you. Okay, Ace, $145. Now Ralph Venturino's in at $150. We're not done. Kiss Killers, the last bid on Kiss Killers is a final call. Chris Frazier at just $90. Meters, is it me or does that sound like a really good deal? An 82 Japanese OG with insert OB and poster. I don't know. Seems like a really good deal. $90 with Chris Frazier. He's probably like, shut up, Chad. Please just go ahead and sell it. Final call. First thing is King Crimson. Heston asked the condition. Let me know if you want it. If not, Matt Nichols said he would pay $36.99 for it. So it's up to you. Ace is at $150, and Killers is still getting bids. And then over here, Greg Ken is sold to Scott Oman for $12. I'm assuming Melanie was passing on that. Okay? There's that. Pass, Matt. Matt Nichols, you get King Crimson for $36.99. Moving on. So we had 9 crates of new stuff like Rocktober's. We're going to go ahead and resume that right now. And the next one was also a a wait list for Stacy Metternich. Stacy Metternich, I have a wait list for you. It's a unique item. I don't know if you remember going on a waiting list for it, but it was for this Green Day picture disc. Remember, I ordered one for the Vlodder I only had one, and then Stacy said, I'll go on a waiting list. Well, look what came back in. The Green Day 7-inch bootleg picture disc. Live, Boulevard of Broken Dreams, and Extraordinary Girl. Sold to Stacy Metternich, $29.99. If anybody else wants one, let me know. All right, let's jump back over here to the pre-orders. And let's do this right now. Let's see here. Give me 1 second. Let me do this. All right. Okay, so what do I need to do? I need to go to Facebook here, and this is the biggest ZZ Top pre-order of the week. All right, here we go, everybody. I have not opened my Monster Energy drink. If I'm like a basketball coach. I get 2 full timeouts and 3 30-second timeouts. I'm going to go throw one of my 30-second timeouts right now. This has almost gotten warm. It's been sitting over here for 45 minutes, so give me 1 second to do this. All right, I'm not done. I'll do another 30-second timeout again. But first, we got Gimme All Your Lovin', All Your Monsters and Cookies Too. That's alternate lyrics. I don't know if y'all heard anything like that before, but that's ZZ Top. Most of y'all know it is Gimme All Your Luggin', Gimme All Your Lovin', All Your Hugs and Kisses Too. Well, when I sing it, I say, Gimme All Your Lovin', All Your Monsters and Cookies Too. ZZ Top, new for Friday, Rhino High Fidelity Series, $39.99. Killers is at $105 with Victor Guerra. $105 with Victor Guerra. $105 with Victor Guerra. If you're not Victor Guerra, you do not have the high bid on Killers. 2 big Kiss auctions up right now. First one is Killers. Ace Frehley is with Ralph Venturino at $165. Brian Stern, you were outbid, okay? Just going to make sure y'all are done. Here's the first 2 people on the ZZ Top pre-order. Brandon Jones and Terry Gearhart. Brandon Jones and Terry Gearhart. Darren Wallace and Ken Crooker. That's Darren Wallace and Ken Crooker. 2 more sold. These are $39.99. Brad Waits and Brandon Lack. Brad Waits and Brandon Lack. Thank you and thank you. Tony Kepler and Scott Markheim. Tony Kepler and Scott Markheim. Joseph Ellis and D. Kong 52. Joseph Ellis and D. Kong 52. Let's pull one more out of here. Aaron Andrus, and I got to start a new crate, okay? I got to start a new fill-up crate because between the last pre-order, all the vintage stuff we just sold, this crate, folks, is full. And that's crate number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and we're about to fill up number 6 because I have a betting chance nearly all these ZZ Tops are going to sell out. This is probably one of the best sounding versions of this classic album that's probably been ever manufactured. Just saying. Craig Honeycutt and Jerry Stone are next. Craig Honeycutt and Jerry Stone. Stephen A. Young and Sean Druin. Stephen A. Young and Sean Druin. Jake Perganson and Clifford Umstead. Jake Perganson and Clifford Umstead. Troy Robinson and Blaine Zapnick. Troy Robinson and Blaine Zapnick. What about Rick Peabody and Bill Samus? Okay, that's it. So I have extras, $39.99. The first person I saw was Stephen Reeves. Thank you, Stephen Reeves. Thank you, Jamie McCord. Killer's got a new bid, 110. Ace, 170. Ace, 170. Michael Wood on ZZ Top. And we're good. These are $39.99. So coming out this Friday is all of the new ZZ Top Rhino High Fidelity Series. We've got Eliminator. I've already showed El Loco. I've already showed DeGuelo, and I've already showed Afterburner. One sold to Stacy Brown. There are 2, 4, 5 copies left. MT Mac gets one. There is 2, 4 copies left. They're $39.99. Guess what? Killers is still getting bids. The sealed Ace Frehley picture disc is still getting bids. Wow. All those are still getting bids, okay? Mega Blast gets one. Now there's 3 ZZ Tops left. 3 left. Cameron gets one. Now there's 2 left. Now there's 2 left. Let's grab another crate. I have a feeling those last 2 might get grabbed. I certainly hope so. I hope so. Let's grab another crate over here. Give me all your loving, all your monsters and cookies too. Out. Right. Cameron wants a ZZ Top Afterburner. You got it. That was from the previous, and I'll show all those again in just a second. I think some of the orders hadn't all showed up because I'm going to show you the next one. Mega Blast, you got a copy of Eliminator, yes. All right, here's the next crate of new stuff for this week. Ace is at $185. Ace is at $185, and Killers, Mark McCready has it for $115. One more time, if you're not Mark McCready, you don't have this for $115. Let's do the other ZZ Top. The next one is Recycler. Now, I don't know if I have enough for everybody. Let me find out. Yeah, the rest of these hadn't come in. Okay, so here's how this is going to work. I've got 2, 4, 6 copies on hand of Recycler. I just don't think the rest have been delivered. So these go to Clifford Umstead, Joseph Ellis, Paul Brothers and Jerry Stone, Kevin Voitosh and Scott Markheim. Now, Recycler is the same thing. It's a ZZ Top, all analog cut by Kevin Gray. Blaine Zapnick, Rick Peabody, Brandon Jones, Bill Samus, Nick Bargeron, Matt Lawson, Jim Berg, Tom Sullivan, Josh Brown, Hyman Ponte, and Robert Matthews are still on a pre-order. Okay, and if anybody else wants one, let me know right now. But those are sold out for tonight. There should be more on the way. MT Matt wants on the ZZ Top Recycler waiting list. You got it. By the way, there's 2 Eliminators left. Ace is still getting bids. It's at $195. Brian Stern's out. Are we done on Killers? Mark McCready has had it for 2 minutes at $115. Final call. Cameron wants a Recycler, but no waiting list. Okay, then I can't get you one right now. Maybe until Wednesday, if they come, or maybe tomorrow. But if you don't want on a waiting list, you'll have to wait and try to claim one live. They could be more being delivered tomorrow. And then Jamie McCord. Okay, I don't know. I will check right now. I don't know if we were shorted on those or they just hadn't been delivered. Probably just hadn't been delivered. I hadn't been shorted on any Rocktobers yet. Okay, here is our next Rocktober. From the Rhino Reserve series, a classic album, Werewolves of London, Excitable Boy, Lawyers, Guns, and Money. That's Warren Zevon. And this comes as a all-analog cut by Chris Bellman at Bernie Grumman Mastering. So, essentially a high-quality version of this classic album, Werewolves of London. Brad Waits on the Recycler waiting list. Stacy Brown on the Recycler waiting list. We got on the pre-order for Warren Zevon, Mark Overton and Daryl Johnson. This should be a super high-quality press of this. Mark White. Mark White and Patrick Lear. Mark White and Patrick Lear. Clifford Umstead and Rob Fordham. Clifford Umstead and Rob Fordham. Blaine Zapnick and Jerry Stone. Blaine Zapnick and Jerry Stone. And then Randy Klein. Okay? And I have, not counting this one that's wrinkled, I have 2, 4, 5 more copies. Okay? 5 more copies of this. First thing is Ace is at $205. Put down Cameron for the Recycler waiting list. So on top of the pre-order, which you don't have to, whoever's watching, you don't have to worry about writing that down. On top of the pre-order, here's the other people on the Recycler waiting list. MT Matt, Cameron Koenig, Jamie McCord, Brad Waits, and Stacy Brown. The Black Sabbath lot is actually sold. That was somebody's from last week. I hadn't gave it to them in the back yet. They're $55. More are showing up this week for sure. I don't have any copies of the one steps. No, I do not. Nobody claimed a Warren Zevon live. Those are available. And these records here aren't priced, okay? I got a few things here that aren't priced yet. And it's some restocks that I did not price for Ed. So give me a second on those. Those are still available, Warren Zevons, okay? Werewolves of London. The name of the album is Excitable Boy. Those are still available, just FYI, okay? And there's 2 copies of Eliminator. There's that. And there's one more crate of new vinyl over here. The Black Sabbath lot is available. They're $55. We're basically take down your name. We will get you one. Does Ed have this crate priced? He does. Good. All right. I got a crate. Now, this is the first crate that really doesn't have any pre-orders, and it's like restocks and other new arrivals. So let's knock these out, okay? Everybody has been ecstatic with the quality of these lights and just how cool they are. And the one I posted Saturday is Metallica. So right now I'm only offering 3. I've got a pre-order for Kiss. They're due in very soon. Metallica is pretty extended. It's next in line. And then, of course, Black Sabbath are coming in on the regular. So I've only got 3 for sale. Black Sabbath, Kiss, and Metallica. Now, I have a note on my phone with probably 100 suggestions. Eventually, we'll get to them all, but it's going to be a while. It may not be next week. It might not be till February. We'll eventually get to them all. I'm doing them in the order in which I think I can sell the most of them. And, of course, Kiss was number 1, Black Sabbath, and next is Metallica. Okay? There's a bunch of requests. It's going to be a while. Okay? First thing is this. Killers 125, Killers 130, Killers 130. Put down David Pitts for a Black Sabbath lot. David Pitts for a Black Sabbath lot. And then Ace Frehley is sold after a long battle. Ralph Venturino 195. David Stern 200, Ralph 205, David Stern out. Ralph Venturino $205. Ace Frehley is sold. $205. That is sold. That is sold. The David Lee Roth box set is $134.99. $134.99. Last one I have. The last bit on Killers is Mario Civitarella for $130. Now, Mark Tizio, sorry, I just butchered your name. I know I did. I'm going to have to call you EMS. EMS, you have that high bid. Everybody else is out, okay? Now, first thing in here is this Soundgarden box set live from the Artist Inn, which is a 4 LP splatter vinyl live Chris Cornell Soundgarden, $59.99. So that's off the table. I know I have some Kiss requests. I got to go up here and grab a box of sleeves and this first Ace Frehley poster that we're going to be selling tonight. I've gotten better at trying to say his last name accurately. I've said Frehley, I think, for years, but I think properly, if you want to get exact, it is Frehley. Okay? And somewhere up here, I got a box of sleeves, and I got to take these back here to me. So technically, our first autograph of the night is coming up right now. I'm going to try to get the image up on the screen, but I think y'all can figure out what it is just from me spreading it out and showing it here to you, okay? Let's go to the top cam. All right, very cool poster here. This was just authenticated by JSA. Ace Frehley, Trouble Walking promotional poster. You can get an idea of the size just compared to the Kiss album back there in the back. What is it, like a 24 by 36 maybe? Very nice. And then I'll go to this cam here so you can get a good look at the signature. I really like this. It's a real, like, a record store poster from Atlantic Megaforce. not something that was sold to the public, like a real promo poster. Very cool signature with his ace of hearts. And this is JSA authenticated like 24 hours ago. $275 start. I'm going to lay it right back here. $275 starting bid on the Ace Frehley poster. You can put AF for Ace Frehley, $275. Okay? Killers is still getting bids. I'm not surprised. David Lee Roth is $134. Killers is at $132. Killers at $135. And Ace is a $275 start. Public Enemy. It takes a nation of millions to hold us back. That's on red vinyl. Public Enemy's on red vinyl, $29.99. King Diamond. Abigail on cobalt blue vinyl. Abigail is $36.99. And then this is really cool. Just in time for Halloween this week. A story of Dracula, Wolfman, and Frankenstein. The 1975 Neal Adams classic with a 16-page coloring book on gold vinyl, $38.99. So that's that classic Dracula, Wolfman, Frankenstein that Peter Pan Records did back in 1975. That is $38.99. Dracula, Wolfman, Frankenstein. Public Enemy is $29.99 red vinyl. Killers is at $137. They're still bidding on that. Ace Frehley is a $275 start. And if you want to bid on, what was the other request we had? I'm not for sure. Somebody requested something a moment ago. But if you want to bid on this, put Hotter Than Hell, okay? Or HOT, or HTH for Hotter Than Hell. This is a 45th anniversary edition of 2019. A 45th anniversary edition on orange vinyl. A $50 start. $50 start on that. And before I call this poster sold, I have took time to photograph all these. So for this reason, let me do my Skippy-to-Doo airdrop here. And whoops, I just try to send it to my phone. Let me see if there it is, Coletco's Mac Mini. There we go. Let me move this image over here so somebody can get a good look at it. The unrolling it on the table doesn't do it too good of a justice. So let me save the downloads. It'll take 10 seconds. It's amazing what technology can do nowadays. Let me make this full screen, and I should be able to put it on your screen right now. Cool. All right, yeah, so there's the poster. So signed right there over his right arm, signed Ace Frehley. Really nice. It's a promo poster, JSA authenticated, nice corners. I've got them taped down with sticky notes so I can photograph it right quick because it's rolled up. It will come shipped rolled in a tube. Ace Frehley, $275. That is the high bid, or that is the starting bid, okay? That is the starting bid. First thing on this is Killers, $137, Public Enemy, $29. George Jones wants a Dracula. Trace McFadden wants a Dracula. So those are sold. And then Jerry Stone got a Dracula. Let's pull one for Jerry Stone. And then next is Killers, $140. How much was Soundgarden Live? $59.99. And then Kelly Vladicek wants a Dracula, Wolfman, Frankenstein. Okay, so that is sold to Kelly, and then there's one left. There's one left. Hotter Than Hell's a $50 start. And I have 2 copies of The Omen. These are on red splatter. They're only $24.99. Unfortunately, one of them came with a seam crackle. So these are brand new Omen. You've Been Warned. The Haunting Score, blood red splatter, $24.99. Guess what? They're still bidding on Killers. It's at $142. They are still bidding. Hotter Than Hell's a $50 start. And we have The Clash, Hits Back, $64.99. I haven't had this in a while. It's a 3 LPs for Music on Vinyl. It's remastered, all Clash songs. It's got a lot of music on here. 6, 6, 6, 6, 4, and 4. $64.99 for The Clash Hits Back. That's a triple LP. I've only got one of those, $64.99. George Jones on The Omen. Now I've got one left that has a seam crackle. Hotter Than Hell 50, Hotter Than Hell 50. And we have Carrie soundtrack from Waxwork. Carrie is $54.99. The original motion picture score, 2 LP, 180 gram colored vinyl, Carrie, $54.99. That's from Waxwork. Scott Oman on the last Oman. Let me know if you're not okay with the seam crackle. That's sold to Scott Oman. I've not sold Dynasty yet. Hotter Than Hell has two $50 bids, 50 and 50, and then Mega Blast on the Clash. That's not bad for music on vinyl triple LP. A lot of new music on vinyl triple LPs now are $54.99, so that is really cool. If anybody wants on the waiting list for that Clash, I haven't had that in a long time. That's sold to John Durden. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and make Ace a buy it now. Kind of surprised by that, but if anybody wants it, Ace is $275. Signed and JSA authenticated. It will come shipped rolled in a tube, and I just paid literally yesterday to have it authenticated, so it's good to go. JSA guarantees it. I guarantee it, and I don't think there's no debate on that one at all. Okay, he said that's fine. And next is this. We have George Strait. We just sold this earlier in the show. That's the soundtrack he did for Pure Country. That is $38.99 for George Strait, Pure Country. $38.99. Ace was the first autographed item of the night. Yep, first autographed item of the night. Kiss Killers is at $145, and that's with MS, Martezio Salvatella. And that means that somebody is out. Victor Guerra, you're out. Stacy on the George Strait. We had those lists earlier in the show. And now Hotter Than Hell's at 51. And I've got 2 copies before I do this next big pre-order of the Nightmare Before Christmas on bone and aqua colored vinyl. $29.99 on that. I don't know how many signatures I'm going to be able to get into tonight. Obviously, we're loaded down with Kiss stuff. And there's a lot. We have filled up another crate. Let me take this in here. Pre-orders take up a lot of space, especially those big thick spines of the ZZ Tops, which was the majority of tonight's sales so far. Pretty cool to see all that gone. Nightmare Before Christmas, and so does Stephen Parton. Kiss Killers has a new bid and a new bidder. And Hotter Than Hell has a new bid, and that's at $51, okay? Got a few more Japanese CDs over here. We've already sold a couple tonight. I've got some mostly over here for buy it nows. A deal through a collection we was able to get. And then I've got some up for auction. And one's going to be Trickster, and this is going to go up for auction. Trickster, which is out of print on vinyl and a highly desirable hair metal album. This is a really cool Japanese CD from 2022. It's a limited edition sealed Japanese CD of Trickster with Obi. $20 start on that. $20 start. No Def Leppard autograph tonight. I don't have the research on that or the price. So sorry, yeah, no Def Leppard tonight. Most of that y'all can expect tomorrow, okay? There'll be a hot picture tomorrow. Since I've already got them photographed, you'll know exactly what's being sold tomorrow. Probably most of these, if I typed in the code right now, they're probably not even in JSA's system yet. But Stacy, come back tomorrow, and I promise I'll have it ready. I've also working on a deal of 2 fully signed Def Leppard albums, which are pretty dang rare. I'm going to mute my mic for 1 second. Sorry. I was on my last session 1 snack break. I think I'll be good for the rest of the night. All right, Killers. Wow. This thing's been up for like an hour and a half. That's an exaggeration, but it feels like it. We started this thing at $75. We still got 3 people bidding against each other. It's taking pretty good jumps, but right now it's at $160 with Victor Guerra. He is the high bidder right now. This thing is still getting bids. It's at $160 with Victor Guerra. Over here, it's Hotter Than Hell, the 45th anniversary on Orange Fire vinyl. Hotter Than Hell was with the record guy at $51. He's about to see that. Chad, can you get the soundtrack to The Phantom Menace? I will work on that right now. Make a note. Chad, look at Star Wars soundtracks. Trickster. Trickster is a Japanese CD, sealed, from 2022. This is out of print on vinyl. Boy, I wish it was available on vinyl. I bet I could sell 100 copies tonight. Chad Sauls has it for $20. Everybody else is out. That is Trickster, Japanese CD, okay? This is a pre-order for Friday. It's not Rocktober, it's just a new release. It is the Thompson Twins. Let's take a look at this. So this is a pre-order for the Thompson Twins. And by the way, more great stuff coming from Collectco. We just bought that killer collection. Did y'all see that Sight collection? And just really good titles that Paul bought in Atlanta. He went to Atlanta, and right now they're in Memphis. They went to Memphis this morning. They left the store. I was here at 6:30. Tyler, Paul, and Henry. They left in a big truck and a big 18-foot box trailer. They went to go buy a collection in Memphis and then up in Western Kentucky, and they should be on their way back. They're probably bought tens of thousands of albums, a lot, so they're on the way back. This is brand new. This is Thompson Twins. It's called Industry and Seduction, a Thompson Twins collection. It is on green and orange vinyl. It is on green and orange vinyl. This is Thompson Twins. It was up for pre-order, $44.99. $44.99. And Jerry Stone, I think you already got one. So it's essentially a new greatest hits, never been released, limited edition, the Definite Collection, and remastered at Abbey Road. Stacy Brown, you was number 1. Thank you, Stacy. Then Kelly Gabney, and then Daryl Johnson, and then Robert Matthews and Paul Brothers, Jerry Stone and John Leeson, Jerry Stone and John Leeson, Walt Cruz and Chris Kirkley, Scott Beebe and Mike Massey, Scott Beebe and Mike Massey, and then Fred Cardinale and Mike Owen. Fred Cardinale and Mike Owen. If anybody else wants one, let me know, okay? Let's go back to the top and let's work our way down. Killers, $164. Killers, $167. Hotter Than Hell, $55. Killers, $170. Killers, $175. Hotter Than Hell is a 45th anniversary 2019 Hotter Than Hell orange vinyl. The bid that came in after the last time I updated it was $55, and that's with Mark Chesler. $55. Killers is at $180. Trickster has been at $20. 2 people has asked about it. It's a sealed 2022 CD. Chad Sauls has it for $20. I have 5 extra Thompson Twins for somebody to claim right now. I've got 4 Thompson Twins. Stephen Parton just bought one. And the last thing in here was a special request for the Vladarcheks. Louis Capaldi, definitely uninspired to a hellish extent. That's for the Vladarchek family. And if anybody else wants one, let me know. Hotter Than Hell has a new bid for $60, and Killers has a new bid for $185. That was a pretty mixed crate of new vinyl there. Let's read through those one more time. Soundgarden live from the Artist Den, 4 LP splatter vinyl, $59.99. Public Enemy, It Takes a Nation of Million to Hold Us Back, red vinyl, $29.99. King Diamond, Abigail, cobalt blue vinyl, $36.99. The 7th Day of July, 1777, King Diamond, $36.99. This is the last copy of Dracula, Wolfman Frankenstein, the Neil Adams classic on gold vinyl with coloring book, $38.99. Carrie soundtrack, that is from Waxwork. They do an amazing job, $54.99 for Carrie. We have George Strait, Pure Country, $38.99. New bids on all the auctions. Killers is at $188, Trickster's at $22, and Hotter Than Hell's at $65. The Nightmare Before Christmas bone and aqua colored vinyl, $29.99. And then Thompson Twins Industry and Seduction, $44.99. That's on orange and green vinyl, $44.99. 9 crates of new vinyl, and everything that's left is in 2. I'm about to show you everything I just did on that. Then ZZ Top, probably the biggest of the ZZ Top titles this week, Eliminator. Limited edition, cut from the original tape, classic album, $39.99. Justin Garrett Wants a Public Enemy. And then the classic album, Excitable Boy, probably one of the better versions of this that's been made. Chris Bellman, Bernie Grundman, Rhino, $36.99. Killers is at $190, Hotter Than Hell, $70. Chad Sauls on Trickster at $21. That's because Levi bid $21. Levi, you're out. Levi, you're out. Okay, so that was crate number 1 of leftovers. And then crate number 2 of leftovers, which isn't much because it is mostly the same titles. And this is how we started the show about 6:15 with new vinyl. It's the Ramones Pet Cemetery, red vinyl, $19.99. The Ramones Pet Cemetery, $19.99. Faces Early Steps, a Rocktober exclusive. Their first recordings, Rod Stewart, $29.99. The Stooges Funhouse, black and white marble, the alternate edition or the alternate version. And then the other ZZ Top was the Guelo, $39.99. New Order was $29.99. Jackal back in stock at $39 for Music on Vinyl. The other ZZ Top Afterburner, $39. The other ZZ Top El Loco, $39. That's pretty much all Rocktobers. And Puddle of Mud, which is just a restock, $39.99. So Puddle of Mud, ZZ Top Jackal, New Order, ZZ Top, Stooges, Faces, and Ramones. And that's everything. Now I have a small handful of stuff here that I'll do later because I got to price it, but it looks like waiting list stuff like Porcupine Tree. And that's everything. That's all the newest vinyl out of 9 crates that have showed up for tonight. Whoa. I just caught one full crate midair. Didn't have it stacked right. Let's go through a new vintage crate. Buy it now, best offer. Let's see what John's got us over here. The first crate was awesome check condition stuff. Next crate is probably going to be EX Plus or better. I'll give you some teases. I see Orchestra Maneuvers. I see Sammy Hagar. I see the Kinks. I see George Strait in here. I see Leslie West, The Police, Kansas. I see some cool stuff coming up. A couple things I don't know. I see Cream. I see the Cars. I see 38 Special. I see Yes. And I'm about to show you those right now. And these are going to be new arrivals, best offer. Okay, let's update these auctions. Unfortunately, we're done on Trickster. Unfortunately for me. Fortunately for Chad Sauls, he gets that for $22. Hotter Than Hell is sold to Brian Berger for $70. John Robb, remind me again on what album you wanted me to put up. I hadn't forgot about you. It's just that some of these I didn't expect to be up for 2.5 hours. Killers is at $195. One person's asked what it is, and then we're going to do a final call. This is probably, I wish I could go back and see. I think it's legitimately been up for about 45 minutes. We started it at $75. Kiss Killers is a 1982 Japanese OG. It has the insert, the poster, and the inner sleeve. Carl Berger has it for $195. We started it at $75. He has it for $195. It does have the poster. Hammer's up. I'm about to sell it. I hope everybody's out. $195. Kiss Alive OG in great condition. Well, there is a Kiss Alive in here. I don't know if it's OG, and I don't know if it's in great condition, but I will put up the only Kiss Alive that's in this bin. It's not an OG, I don't think, though. This is a 2020 Kiss Online exclusive on the multicolor vinyl. So this is Kiss Alive. If I'm going to listen to Kiss, this is my go-to. So good. Kiss Alive 2020 US online exclusive, 45th anniversary, a $75 start. $75 start. That's up for bid. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Sold to Carl Berger for $195. Thanks for all that was bidding, and thank you and congratulations, Carl Berger. There's the next KISS auction. There's only one no bid tonight. Here's the no bid. This autographed Ace Frehley poster, $275. JSA'd, good to go, and this isn't just some poster you could have bought. It was like a poster that would have been displayed in a record store when that album came out for Trouble Walking. $275 if anybody wants in. If not, it's going to be listed elsewhere tonight. Fairlane Dave, just send Ed a Facebook message and he'll take care of you. Okay? You send Ed a Facebook message and he'll take care of you. What happens is people keying in records may one or two things. They hit the wrong digit on the iPad when they're keying this stuff in, or I may have said the wrong price when I called it sold. So there's KISS Alive. There's KISS Alive. And then we got Ace Frehley. That way we can keep two pretty distinct auctions going. Ace Frehley Anomaly is a 2017 U.S. limited edition blue and clear Starburst vinyl. Ace Frehley Anomaly, $25 start. Okay, let me clarify what I said. If you have a question on an invoice or you need a correction on Facebook, if you have a Facebook, if you operate on Facebook, you can send us a direct message. If you don't have a Facebook, then you need to message our page. You just contact us. However you contact us on a normal basis, all you got to do is email us or send us a message. Ed, the guy that we call Hatchet Ed, that is our customer service manager. You talk to him and he'll fix any of your problems in 24 hours as long as you reach him between Monday and Friday. Nobody's here over the weekends. Ed will not be replying to you on Friday afternoon, Saturdays, or Sundays, and sometimes not Mondays because he's invoicing. So all you got to do is send CollectCo a message. You can do it through Facebook. You can do it through email. However you want to reach out to us, Ed will be able to find it. New Arrivals, Buy It Now Best Offer. Coming up, one more CD for auction. And let's do Nirvana in Utero. This is pretty sweet. It's a 2021 Japanese CD, sealed. There is a little bit of a crack right here. $25 start on Nirvana. It's a new sealed Japanese CD with Obi. It does have a little crack there. $25 start. Okay? Ed will take care of you. I tried and I tried again. Now, if you've tried today, you can't expect an immediate, like, 30-second reply, okay? But if you've sent it today, he will get back with you. So if you've tried it in the last, let's say, 12 hours, well, it couldn't even been in the last 6 hours, he probably hadn't replied to you yet. Tomorrow is when most corrections will be fixed, okay? So if you've done something in the last 30 minutes, there's no way he's going to reply to you. Or even in the last 3 hours. You probably want to wait till tomorrow. Give him till the end of the day tomorrow. Ed is at home. He is off from work. He is not replying to message currently. This is a sealed OG copy of George Strait, $59.99. If you ain't loving, you ain't living. $59.99 for sealed George Strait, $59.99. If you ain't loving, you ain't living. Ed comes back in tomorrow about 10 o'clock, and he'll start replying to people. He'll start replying to you. But right now, there is 2 people currently working at CollectCo, me and Laura, and we're not fixing invoices at the moment. He'll resume that tomorrow at 10. Yes is $19.99. This is Yes Fragile. This is a OG pressing. It's really clean. It's really nice. $19.99. Sealed George Strait, there's Yes. The Best of Joe Walsh is $19.99. And we have Sammy Hagar, a UK copy, $29.99. Sammy Hagar, $29.99. The last bid on KISS Alive, was $85 of Mark Chesler. Stephen Reeves, just so you know, you were outbid on that. Stephen Reeves, you're out. And then Ace Frehley Anomaly, Brad Waits has it for $28. The record guy, you've been outbid. Any more pinback buttons? A few over here. I'll try to slip those in after I'm done with these Japanese CDs. Final call on the Nirvana sealed. Does have a crack right there. It's good to go, though. Brand new Japanese CD, $25 start. These are some really interesting ones here. John Cougar, Chestnut Street Incident. I don't recall ever seeing that before. Probably because it's a UK import, $19.99. So John Cougar, Sammy Hagar, Joe Walsh, yes, and George Strait. Wow, off to a great start in this crate. Also, 38 special delivery. That's a Holland press. We're back into this import collection. This guy had hundreds, if not thousands, I guess, of UK and German imports. $26.99. Foreigner Double Vision. Foreigner is $19.99. Double Vision Foreigner, $19.99. And Renegade Soundwave, probably a robbery. That is $9.99. George Jones on SH for Sammy Hagar. And Stephen Parton is pretty accurate in what he's saying there. Just if you message CollectCo, if you ever send a DM to the Facebook page, you're talking to about 9 different people who work here. A lot of people have access to it. Ed and Paul is who you need to address the messages to. So if you're messaging CollectCo, just say, Dear Ed, Mr. Ed, Hatchet Ed. Or if you want to talk to Paul about selling something, say, Paul, I would like to sell my entire lifetime collection of OG thrash metal albums in mint condition to CollectCo. I live at this place. Here's my phone number. Here's what I want for my collection. Please come by them, and he'll take care of you. Next is which Sammy Hagar, already sold. Ace Frehley, condition. Near mint minus. Mark Chesler's out on Kiss Alive. Stephen Reeves has it for $90. Tracy McFadden on 38 special. This is a buy it now best offer crate. Carl Berger on Foreigner. And we have Jay Ferguson, Thunder Island. A white label promo, $19.99. Jay Ferguson, Thunder Island. Also, Mahavishnu Orchestra, Birds of Fire, $24.99. And George Strait is $59.99. It's an OG copy. If you ain't loving, you ain't living. I got to get Laura access to the messenger. They make it so complicated to add people on business pages nowadays. Like, it used to be a couple buttons. Man, it is so hard to add somebody on a business page, especially the way we have it set up for monetization. I don't know why it is made so difficult, but Laura, you got to remind me about that. I thought I'd done that. Are you sure you didn't get an invite? Of course, if it is, it's probably expired by now. I could have swore I sent you an invite. $29.99 on the cars. Nirvana's a $20 start. Ace Frehley's at $38. Jim Carroll Band, Catholic Boy. Jim Carroll Band is $26.99. I was talking to Laura, and she was halfway already up here. Elvis Costello, in Shrink with Hype, $24.99. And Laura just delivered a Laura crate. Laura just delivered a Laura crate. Next is Ace Frehley at $40. Nirvana is at $20 of Chris Frazier. And we have Cream Disraeli Gears. Cream Disraeli Gears is $34.99. Disraeli Gears. It's $34.99. The last bit over here on Kiss is Stephen Reeves at $90, and it's sold to him. Okay? Next is Ace Frehley, $38 and now $40. The Nirvana CD's at $20. We have Cat Stevens, T for the Tillerman, $14.99 for that. And Jethro Tull, Minstrel in the Gallery, $19.99, Green Chrysalis label, Jethro Tull, Minstrel in the Gallery. So we need another Kiss record. We got, I think, this box set back here. Yeah, this is pretty dang cool. This is the Kiss solo albums, a 2018 U.S. reissue, limited to 2,500 box sets. Each member is on a different color vinyl. Paul Purple, Peter Green, Ace Blue, and Gene's Red. It has the puzzle posters, and this is sealed. So it's essentially all the solo albums boxed together. It's sealed. We've got it in a box set sleeve, but it's never been opened. It's still actually sealed. $325 start. Okay, $325 start. Kiss is at, Nirvana's at $20. Cat Stevens is $14.99. And we have Journey, Looking to the Future. Journey is a 1976 Santa Maria, $34.99 for Journey, Looking to the Future. And we have Lou Reed, Rock and Roll Animal. Lou Reed is $29.99. Black RCA label, nice, $29.99. Jersey Devil, it's all up to you on Ace Frehley. Hesson put another, was that a claim or did I miss something there? The Kiss Solo Box is a $325 start. Let's go ahead and sell Nirvana. Sold to Chris Frazier for $20. And we have this. We have $49.99 for Pond. This is on Sub Pop. $49.99 Pond. A 1993 alternate rock gray marble vinyl, $49.99. Ace has a new bid for $41. Butters 8871, can you remind me who you are? You have the high bid on the Kiss Solo at $325. All right, I've got a buy it now Japanese CD deal. These are really good. These are super audio disc. These are Tears for Fears, Songs from the Big Chair. New and sealed, $39.99. They're 2016 Japanese CDs, super audio disc, Tears for Fears, $39.99. I've got 3 of those. Now, those are actually classified as SA CDs. So those are super audio disc, even a higher level than most, just FYI. Over here, we have Ace Frehley at $41 of Jersey Devil. Next is Roy L. Trucks. Is that what that says? $39.99. What does this say? Roy L. Trucks. $39.99. All I have it as Lo-Fi from 1992. Ace Frehley's at $41 of Jersey Devil. Okay? Next is the Kiss Solo Box has a high bid of $325, going once, going twice. Nick Lowe, Labor of Lust. Nick Lowe is in shrink wrap. $19.99 for Nick Lowe. Labor of Lust, that's Royal Trucks. There we go, Royal Trucks. That's how that's supposed to be read. Roy L. Trucks, Royal Trucks. Noiseworks is Gold Stamp Promo, $19.99. And we have Alcuin. Nobody Can Wait Forever. Alcuin is $12.99. And is this K-Tail? K-Tail alert. K-Tail alert. Top Star Festival 20 Dynamic Hits. This is K-Tail International. So this is why I probably hadn't seen this one. Great looking track listing on that. $9.99. This is buy it now or best offer. Ace Frehley is sold to Jersey Devil for $41. That is sold to Jersey Devil for $41. And then we have the Color Field. This is Virgins and Philistines. The Color Field, Gold Stamp Promo, $19.99. JK on Twitch, $40 for Pond. Sold to JK on Twitch. And Kansas, self-titled. Kansas is $19.99. It has the original inner sleeve, $19.99. Kansas, $19.99. All right, so the Kiss box is sold. Now, what I need to do, if this is a new buyer on something like this, let me go ahead and ask you to do this. Let me get you to make sure we have you registered, because 2 things. Because you're a new buyer and because you're buying something that's kind of pricey, I got to make sure we have you registered. So let me jump over here to our website. I'm going to share the link as well over in Twitch. Okay? And I'm going to make sure that I have your, if you don't mind to go ahead and fill out this form. I'm going to share this over here. And a couple things, if you're new and you're buying something kind of pricey. Number 1, I got to have your information, and don't be surprised if I ask them to invoice you early for this, like tomorrow, okay? And if you happen to buy more this week, you won't be charged any extra shipping. And sometimes is that link showing up? Okay, good. That should show up on everybody's. If I comment over here on Restream, that should show up on Facebook, Twitch, YouTube, and X. If it doesn't, let me know. And when you have that form filled out, just say form completed, okay? When you have that filled out, just say form completed. I'll make sure we're good to go. What was the opening bid? It just sold. It's gone. $325. Okay. It showed up on Twitch. Good. So yeah, I got that for anybody that wants to go ahead and register. If you think you might bid on something tonight or you want to bid on something tonight. Okay, was there any offers on these? Chuck Haley on K-Tail for 7. That sold for 7. And here we go. Darren Johnson, I've already sold Pond. I've actually already sold it. That is already sold. And then how much was Royal? Royal was $39.99. Royal $39.99. Okay, time for new auctions. Next auction is Kiss Unmasked. This is a 1980 USOG. Barcode was added to reissue, so no barcode. This is a real 80 OG sealed copy. It's heavy. You can feel where it has the poster and everything in it. Unfortunately, it's a cutout, though. It does have a clip corner. And this is a $50 start for Kiss Unmasked. How much, Chad? A $50 start. That's a sealed Kiss Unmasked $50 start. Jules Shear. $14.99 for Jules Shear, the Eternal Return. Robert Plant Shaken and Stirred. Shrink Wrap $19.99. And The Origin. The Origin's $19.99. Some interesting looking stuff in this crate. A few titles I don't see as often from the 80s. That is $19.99 for The Origin. And we have The Police in Yada Mandata. The Police is in Shrink Wrap, $24.99. Dwayne Caldwell on Kansas for $14. Okay? That is sold. How much for Royal Trucks? Royal Trucks was $39.99. Does Unmasked have a promo stamp? No promo stamp. No, just a cut corner. I think this is more so a cutout rather than a cut for promo. I'm going to say it's a cutout record bid, which I think is the only thing you can assume it to be. That's at $60, and then I'm going to put up an Ace solo album. That way we can distinguish between the two. This is an 87 U.S. Carrollton OG Club copy. It's EX edition, a $20 start for Ace Frehley. It does have some cover and edge wear. $20 start on Ace Frehley. This is a new arrival crate. Very nice stuff in here. Best offer. $20 for Brian Call. Laura has delivered a crate over here. A crate has been delivered from Laura. We also have the Beach Boys Close-Up. $29.99 for the Beach Boys Close-Up. Also, Leslie West Mountain. Leslie West is $19.99. This is mastered by Bob Ludwig in the Dead Wax here. Those Mountain records are always really good sounding. They're either mastered by Ludwig or Lee Holko, the OGs. First thing is JK offered $32 for Royal Trucks. Go ahead and sell that to JK for $32. The last bid on Ace Frehley was Larry Gonzalez at $20. And then over here, Unmasked is sealed. Yes, it's never been opened. There's one bid with A-Rod for $60. One bid for A-Rod. Next, or from A-Rod, 10 Years After is $17.99. This is called Shh by 10 Years After, $17.99. And Mr. I Wear the Face. Shrink Wrap, Hop Sticker, $34.99. Mr. And Missing Persons, Rhyme and Reason. This is $24.99. Mr. appears to be a 1984 original, $24.99. And George Strait's Greatest Hits. That's in Shrink Wrap, $49.99. $49.99. Over here, Kiss Unmasked. The last bid on Unmasked, this is a 1980 USOG, not a club. Sealed and guaranteed original. Sealed, guarantee original. This is a sealed Kiss Unmasked retail copy. The last bid was A-Rod at $60. $60. Now Patrick C. Smith at $75. Now, I don't know if y'all can hear me over on Facebook, but I haven't stopped talking because Facebook is down, but everything else is working. So it's obviously a Facebook problem. So we just got to hope that that reconnects here pretty soon. Just FYI. Okay, because it sounds and looks like Facebook is buffering or dead. And if y'all can hear me, unfortunately, there's nothing I can do about that right now. It looks like it has completely frozen over there. Now, YouTube and Twitch looks like it's going fine. So that's obviously a Zuckerberg problem, right? Because everybody is still bidding on YouTube and Twitch like nothing. So we'll have to just keep rolling, and hopefully Facebook works its way out. Okay? I'll keep talking. If it gets real bad, I'll just pause and see what happens, okay? But let me update Kiss, because two more other people just asked, what is Kiss? How much it is? More condition? What does it look like? How nice is it? And what year is it? And what kind of pressing is it? This is Kiss Unmasked, a 1980 USOG, no barcode. It's a retail copy. And A-Rod has it for $80. Over here, Ace Frehley, the last bid on Ace Frehley is still the first bid, which is Larry Gonzalez at $20. He's the only person who has that for $12. Mark Overton offered $12 for Leslie West. Mark Overton, if you hear me, I will go ahead and sell that to you for $12. Sell Mark Overton, Leslie West for $12. Okay? And let me make sure there was nothing before that. Let me make sure there was nothing before that. Kiss 95. And then Topographic on Robert Plant for $14. And that was back here shaken and stirred. Okay? Royal Trucks is gone. Kiss has a new bid for $100. Kiss has a new bid for $100. Royal Trucks, boy, that must have been a good record. Dyed and Pond. Oh my gosh, I said the name Royal Trucks and the crowd goes wild. That must have been a good record, both value-wise and sound-wise. Okay? And if y'all are joining me over on Twitch and YouTube because Facebook's frozen, I'm aware, but everything else is running fine, so it's obviously a Facebook problem. It's obviously a Facebook problem, so that just sucks for everybody, right? Let me jump over here and see what it says on my system. It says Facebook is streaming, and it's connected. So let me refresh and see if that gives me a new update. Maybe it's worked out a kink. Sometimes it gets a little kinky over there on Facebook. And it says unable to connect. I think we're completely disconnected from Facebook. Let me give it a few more seconds, and if it doesn't connect, I'll try to wrap up these auctions, which sucks because two things: people on Facebook can't bid, and they're actually up for bid and they're about to sell, including Ace Frehley. So what I'll do is I'm going to have to restart feed. It looks like Facebook dropped us. I hadn't had to do this in a long time. It happens every once in a while. It looks like Facebook has dropped us. And I'll just have to end the feed and redo it, okay? So, honestly, let me pause these auctions where we're at, okay? So I'm going to write down who has high bid. It looks like Kiss is between Gonzo and Patrick. I won't take another bid until y'all come back, okay? Gonzo, you have it for $110. And then Jersey and Larry Gonzalez are bidding on Ace. And it's at $22 with Jersey. All right, Larry, you're out. And Patrick, you're out on Kiss. Gonzo has it for $110. Let me stop there. I'll make sure y'all are back watching before I start. We'll have to start a new feed, okay? George Strait was $49.99. We got to pause though. We didn't just drop Facebook. They have it dropped. Well, hold on one second. It says sending data. Let me make sure it doesn't accidentally start a new feed. Let me see what it looks like over here. Because see, YouTube starts a new feed, and automatically we don't need that to happen because we don't need 2 or 3 feeds going. Okay, so yeah, it says Coletco was